61 degrees right now at game time, and it was about 93 yesterday. So it's perfect football weather in a perfect place. McLean Stadium is gorgeous. If you've never been here and you get a chance, as you saw, you can come by the river or come by land. And this is a fired up team that's number 5 in the country. And a Horned Frog team that came off an upset of Oklahoma and jumped all the way to number 9. TCU won the toss and deferred. Baylor will get the football first. Jaden Obercroft to kick. Clay Fuller links Hawthorne back deep. Big 12, big game underway. From the 2-yard line, it's Hawthorne. Going to make it to the 18, and that's about it. Nice coverage by TCU as we take a look at our impact players in this one. Shocklinwood coming off a great game, 148 yards a week ago. KD Cannon's been their big guy as a receiver and has had 5 touchdown catches already. Paul Dawson, huge game a week ago, including an interception for a touchdown. And Carter on the back end, first team preseason All-American, and he does a little bit of everything. Had a couple of sacks and 7 solo tackles in the game a year ago. Here comes Bryce Petty.
Well, I think it was very interesting what Holly reported about him needing to relax today and let the game come to him. He also has his full complement of receivers.
And he's going to go to the air on the first play and goes to his tight end, Trevon Armstead, who's a big target, 6'6", 265.
And he's normally used in the running game as a lead blocker. Throw him a little bone early and say, keep blocking the rest of the day, big fella.
He comes out. The extra wide receiver comes in on 2nd down and 4. Shocklinwood flanking Bryce Petty in the gun. And Petty play action, looking to throw. Got away from the rush of Caraway and got a couple of yards.
Yep, stepped out a little bit short of the first down marker. Have our first 3rd down situation of the game. 3rd and short.
They run a play about every 20 seconds. And in the first half, it's normally even quicker than that. And quickly, they go to the air on 3rd down and short, and no problem. Levi Norwood.
You know, Baylor does this a lot. 3rd and short, they will throw for it. Now, the blocking up front is a run block. And that really freezes linebackers. They do a lot of their pass game off their run game where the line is blocking run and the quarterback makes the decision whether to throw.
Goodley's in the backfield, and this time it's high and through the hands of Corey Coleman. Incomplete, so Petty's first incompletion brings up 2nd down and 10. And again, set in the shotgun, empty backfield. Petty, plenty of time. He's going to go long and too long. Incomplete. Intended for Cannon. And it'll bring up 3rd down and long.
Good coverage down the field. That was a pure drop back pass. Again, you don't see that as much from Baylor as you see the play action. But now 3rd and 10. TCU going to play pass all the way here.
Baylor 49% on their 3rd down conversions, which is 3rd in the conference. Flags fly. And Broxton, I think, with a false start.
Offense number 61. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Randy Crystal, our referee, with the first penalty of the day, and now they got 3rd down in a bunch here. 3rd and 15.
Coming into the game, Baylor averaging a lot of penalties, offensive penalties per game. Last year in this game against TCU, they had 15 penalties as a team.
They had 10 against Texas for 95 yards last week and still won the game 28-7. Empty set again for Petty. Gets some pressure, and he's going to take off with it. I think he's going to get 15. He got about 13, though.
Yeah, but how critical was that 5-yard penalty? Yeah. Because he picks up the first down easily if it's 3rd and 10. But at 3rd and 15, he's going to come up a little short. But Art Briles loves to go for it on 4th down. And here they're lined up to go.
They're 14 of 17 on the year. And they got another one. Into TCU territories, Corey Coleman.
Well, that was really good patience by Coleman, who's not a tailback by trade, but he was patient, waiting for that hole to open up.
And look at how fast they line up at the 48. Petty wants to go deep again. This time he's got a man out there and broken up. Nice play by Sam Carter, one of our impact players. Got a hand in at the last second.
There was actually 2 guys in coverage. Carter had inside coverage, and he read the ball and the eyes of the receiver and got his hand right up in between to knock the ball away. Both of these offenses will take a large number of shots down the field. That's how they're built.
Linwood. They fake it to him. They go down the middle, and it's complete. First down, Jay Lee. 21-yard pickup.
Safety got out of position that time. Hackett, number 1, was out of position in his help coverage. That left a line of open room in the middle. And Petty right on the money with it.
10th play of the drive, the opening possession of the football game. This time they do go to the ground. Shock Linwood dropped by Paul Dawson. And you see the clock in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And they're not even really hustling on this one, but they're going to get it off somewhere around 15 seconds probably. Right on the money. And it's Linwood again. And back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Tevin Lawson, first guy there, along with Marcus Mallett, the linebacker.
You know, it's interesting. Gary Patterson hired 2 new offensive coordinators, and they changed TCU's offense to up-tempo, and I think that's helped him as a defensive coordinator and coach in this league, calling fast-paced defense against these kind of offenses.
Plus, you get to see it in practice every day. Petty. And he's in trouble, and down he goes. TCU's first sack of the ball game. And it was a community effort. Lawson was there, so was Dawson.
Good coverage down the field. It wasn't a blitz, but Petty had nowhere to go quickly with the ball. And now we have 4th and long.
So the law firm of Lawson and Dawson with a sack. .16 to go on 4th down. Petty down the middle, incomplete. And it's tipped by Terrell Latham. And Gary Patterson says, here we go. We're going the other way. They take over on downs.
They take over, and they take over in great field position. You know, that's the other side of that, going for it on 4th down. If you miss, you give the other team good field position.
Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week. TCU and BYU. TCU getting ready to take the field as we take a look at our impact players for the Horned Frogs offensively. Colby Listenby had a career game a week ago. 5 catches for 103 yards. B.J. Catalon's their main man in the backfield. Mo Blackshear had one of those games for a defensive tackle you'd love to have. 4 tackles, a blocked field goal, and a fumble recovery last week. And Orion Stewart had 2 interceptions in the victory over Texas. Here's Trevon Boykin and company for TCU and their first offensive possession. And as Todd said, good field position at the 33-yard line. Boykin fires a slant complete. Pickup of about 9 to Deontay Gray. And you'll see TCU going in a hurry.
Yeah. When I put the film on and watched TCU's offense, I was amazed at the quarterback awareness of Trevon Boykin. Last year when these 2 teams played, he played wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, the development in a short amount of time as a quarterback has been astounding.
He's going to loft one long near sideline over the head of everybody, intended for Dotson.
That's one thing TCU does. If you give them press coverage, they're going to take a lot of shots on those fade routes. And if you don't hit them, then there's no reason to get out of press coverage. And it'll be up to Boykin to either get a completion or the receivers to draw a pass interference on a couple of those.
First 3rd down of the ball game for the Horned Frogs. 3rd down and 2. Boykin wants to throw for it. And over the head and an incomplete pass, but a flag flies in. Ryan Reed was covering on Listenby.
I think the reason we're going to get a penalty is because the ball was not thrown in the right spot. Because the ball was thrown behind the intended receiver.
Defense number 9. It will be a 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
See, this is a corner route, and if the ball is thrown to the outside to Listenby, there's not going to be a penalty. But because it was thrown back inside, there was a grab, and that's an obvious call. Had the hand on the jersey, had the tug, and that's what happens. You take shots downfield. You either have to get completions or you draw the penalties if you're going to do that.
Every game this year, they've scored a touchdown on their opening march. They're in BYU territory already.
Crazy formation here.
Wow. On both offense and defense, which spreads things out and gives it to B.J. Catalon. Got 5 on the carry.
2 new coordinators for TCU. Doug Meacham, who has a lot of history at Oklahoma State. You see the linemen spread out, huge splits. And a nice opening run for Catalan. There's Meacham. Sonny Cumbie, the other co-offensive coordinator, came from Texas Tech.
2nd and 6. Here's some option. Boykin's going to keep it. Ooh. He got tagged, but he's going to be close to the first down. Stood up by Terrell Burt in the secondary.
See, this is the other dimension that TCU's offense has with Boykin. Not only is he a good runner on a scramble or when things break down, but they run a lot of designed option, especially if you give them the look that they want. And once again, we have a 3rd and short situation for TCU's offense.
One of those rare guys that leads his team in passing yardage and rushing. 3rd down and 1 here. This time they'll come option to the near side, and they've got the first and a bunch more. Inside the 30, B.J. Catalan, pickup of 11.
They went to 2 tight ends that time and ran the option, the speed option to the wide side of the field, and a good read by Boykin, waiting to the last minute to pitch it and get another conversion.
They hadn't really shown that much until Oklahoma a week ago.
But it is something you have to prepare for, and it takes a lot of defensive preparation time to get ready for during the week.
Empty backfield here. Boykin to throw. Going to come again to the near sideline and again over the head of everybody, intended for Dotson and Xavier Howard in coverage. Same play as we saw earlier in this drive.
They will do that a lot. I mean, they really take a lot of shots against press coverage on the fade routes. Take a look at what this offense has done so far this season, the biggest turnaround in college football.
Up 171 yards a game. That's big.
And as much as anything, it's been the maturity of Trevon Boykin going through spring ball and all fall camp as a quarterback.
Baylor coming with a blitz here, and it's going to pay off. Down goes Boykin. Back at the 35-yard line. K.J. Smith was the first guy there, and then Blackshear, one of our impact players, cleaned up.
Yeah, they brought more than TCU could block. The first guy unblocked didn't get the tackle, but he forced Boykin up in the pocket, and that's where they finished him off.
Bo Blackshear, one of the Waco natives, played at Midway High School here in town. 8th play of the drive, but now it's 3rd down and 16. Again, they'll bring an extra man. Boykin's going to lay it out long. 2 men out there, and he's got him. Touchdown. Colby Listenby. TCU on the board first.
Listenby has great speed. They have a couple receivers that can really get after it running down the field. Listenby not an overly big guy, but great speed, got separation, and again, press coverage, one-on-one, they give him shots. They will take their shots, and Listenby able to get this one for the touchdown.
I know both those guys weren't supposed to be in the same spot, but they'll take it. And for Trevon Boykin, his 11th touchdown pass of the year. Listenby, one of our impact players, talked about the game he had a week ago. Well, he's off to a great start right now. They're reviewing this play.
Well, that's a tough play for Phil Bennett's defense. 3rd down and long. They got the negative play on 2nd down, and 3rd and long, they give up a touchdown pass as they're taking a look at it. Yeah, that's
the ball never touched the ground.
Clearly a touchdown.
Yep. Not many times you're going to have 2 guys a yard apart and have one of them come up with a touchdown catch like that.
That's got to be the fault of Deontay Gray. I mean, they got away with it. Listenby had nowhere to go but run a fade. Deontay Gray was the slot receiver and shouldn't have been that far outside.
After review, the previous play is confirmed.
So the touchdown caps a 67-yard drive. Remember, Baylor went on 4th and 16. Todd said good field position. And this is the first time Baylor's trailed all year.
Yeah. And again, the press coverage and the confidence that Trevon Boykin has in taking shots down the field. And they drew 1 pass interference penalty on this drive, and they got the touchdown on 3rd and long on the last play.
Ober Crowley in for the point after. 7-0 Horned Frogs. 9:32 remaining in the first quarter, and TCU on the board first, capping a 67-yard drive in 8 plays. Colby Listenby in the end zone, 7-zip TCU. Robert Griffin III, Heisman Trophy winner, really kind of set this program on its ear a little bit in that game against Oklahoma in 2011. The pass heard around the college football world, and since then they just keep getting better.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the thing that changed for Baylor more than anything was recruiting.
Yeah.
You know, their recruiting now has taken a huge leap, and then you add on these beautiful facilities, and Baylor's not going anywhere anytime soon.
This stadium is awesome. Not to mention our broadcast booth, which we could have a party in with all our friends. Kick to Hawthorne about 4 yards deep, and he'll take a knee. They'll bring it out to the 25 as we take a look at our good hands play, brought to you by Allstate. Mr. Blackledge.
Well, on second down, Baylor got him with a blitz. Watch Hager come on third down, and I want you to watch B.J. Catalon step over and stone the blitz and allow Boykin to have time to throw this ball down the field. That's how you pick up a blitz if you're a running back. Give your quarterback a little time, and on the other end, the nice concentration and the good hands by Listenby.
So here comes Baylor. They stalled on fourth down on their last drive, had things going their way until a penalty backed them up and a sack. So they'll start at the 25. First half has been all Baylor this year. They're trailing for the first time, and Petty's going deep and got his man. Katie Cannon, no, he dropped it. Flag down, though. Corey O'Mealy was back there covering.
You're going to see both these quarterbacks take deep shots down the field all day. I mean, that's the way these offenses are built. If you give press coverage.
Pass interference, defense. Number 2. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
You know, he went to make contact before the ball got there.
Just a split second, though.
Just a
it was
split
a pretty good play, actually. Right there.
See, he's not playing the ball necessarily. He's playing the receiver, and just a hair too soon, he got that contact.
So first down at the 40. Linwood and Armstead both in the backfield. One the tight end for the blocking of Linwood is going for about a yard. That's it.
So this TCU run defense is giving up an average of 2.5 yards per carry. They're very stout inside. Pearson and Hunter, the two defensive tackles, have been playing a lot of ball together. 3-year starters. You got Paul Dawson, senior linebacker, Marcus Mallett, senior linebacker. All 4 of those guys playing at a high level this year make it very difficult to run the football on.
6 times in the last 14 years, TCU's had the #1 defense in the country. That's pretty impressive. Petty on play action. Got a man wide open this time. First down, toss. And that's out to Cannon. Pickup of 11.
Holly mentioned that this is the first game that Bryce Petty has felt pain-free. Well, this is the first game that they've had their full complement of wide receivers back near 100%.
Antoine Goodley had a quad injury, and Corey Coleman been nursing a hamstring, so everybody's out there today for number 14. He calls his own number here and picks up 7.
That was going to be a throw off the fake run. It wasn't open, and Petty just made the decision to run, and credit Katie Cannon for turning into a blocker and getting Petty some extra yards.
First down carry, and almost a face mask at the end of that play. Now the ball is out, and TCU says they have it. The officials have not made a determination yet. Now they do. 2-0, I think, the guy that's going to come up with a football.
I think Sam Carter's the guy trying to rip it out. Sam Carter and Paul Dawson were combining, and Carter got away with the face mask, and as he was grabbing the face mask, Dawson was grabbing the football. They got away with the face mask, and they got the football instead. You know, that's the old defensive strategy. If one guy has him held up, the second guy in goes and rips for the football.
So our impact players, every one of them's made an impact so far. And the second time now that Baylor gets in TCU territory. First they turn it over on downs. Now they fumble it away. They come in +4 in the turnover category. So they're on the short end of the scoreboard for the first time, and now they're on the short end of the turnovers as well. Well, they've had 2 touchdown leads in every game this year. They're looking to do the same right now. Boykin, he's going to take another shot, going long. Got a man and got him. Listen, B again.
Well, you just can't throw it any better than this. Over the outside shoulder, let the man run away from the defender. Ryan Reed's not in bad position, but this is a perfectly thrown ball over the outside shoulder. Impossible to defend.
They haven't set the sticks yet, and the play goes anyway, and it's Boykin keeping it himself, heading to the corner inside the 5. They never got the markers down to the 15-yard line. I was going to tell you it was first down at the 15. Didn't even have time to say that.
No, they got to get up-tempo chain guys, too, to play here. Jeez.
First and goal.
They do not mess around.
At the 3. And this time the officials are going to hold them up and say, guys, we got to at least set some of these things up over here. They don't need that part now. They just need the first down marker at the 3-yard line.
2 tight ends set again. The last time they were in this, they ran option with Boykin.
This time he gives it to his tailback, who walks in untouched. Catalan, touchdown, and it might be 14-0 again.
Boy, they caught Baylor in a slant to the wide side of the field, and they just slanted themselves right out of the play. 2 times now TCU has capitalized. Once on a failed 4th down conversion, good field position, long pass and a score. After the turnover, long pass, they convert again. They've taken advantage of the mistakes Baylor's made early in this game.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 9. The penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
It's on Josh Doxson, the wide receiver. But that'll be after our timeout and the extra point that's upcoming. Nothing like a 40-second drive. Overcrom, extra point, up and good. So Baylor had things going their way, turned it over on down. Second time they got in TCU territory, the ball came out, and the Horned Frogs took over. And it only took them 3 plays to get this touchdown and a 14-0 lead on the road. You want to take a crowd out of the game, try a 2-touchdown lead halfway through the first quarter.
Yeah, I mentioned on this touchdown that Baylor got caught in a stunt. They stunted all their linemen this way, thinking the run would go to the wide side. And TCU ran it back to the weak side, the short side of the field with Catalan, and there was only one guy there. Not enough people there to stop that run. Well-designed play, right call at the right time.
BJ's 5th rushing touchdown of the year. And so for the 5th straight game, the Horned Frogs lead 14-0. Not sure they were expecting to be this efficient this early against the number 5 team in the country. We understand Auburn is trailing 14-0 as well, by the way. And that one out of the back of the end zone with 7:40 to go. Robert Flores got our first studio update. Robert. There you go. So is the Texas Ranger.
Yeah, great museum. Really cool place. Well, the good news for Baylor, being down 14-0 is not that big of a deal the way they play offense.
Right.
And this is an offense that can explode at any time.
This is going to be only about a 2-yard gain for Devin Chaffin.
I don't think they're going to have a great amount of success early running on TCU. I think they're going to have to throw the football to open up their run, and I think Bryce Petty running it might be the best option for him.
This time, play action, the slant's a little bit behind Jay Lee, the intended receiver. And Anthony Tejada was back there in coverage.
That time Bryce Petty felt a little heat. Paul Dawson was coming on an inside rush, and he kind of short-armed that throw and wasn't accurate, bringing up 3rd down.
Remember, as Holly said, he tried to do too much. He thought last week it only went 7 for 22 against Texas, though he did have a couple of touchdown passes. He's off to a 4 for 9 start here today. 3rd down and 7. Petty steps up in the pocket, flushed to his left and lobs one incomplete. And Baylor's going to have to punt.
When we talked to Bryce Petty yesterday and asked him about this TCU defense, the first thing he said was they are so sound. They're very sound. They don't get out of position. They don't make many mistakes. And then they have athletes on top of that that make plays. And that was what we saw right there on third down. Just sound, fundamental defense, good coverage, good contain on the pass rush, and they forced the punt.
Cameron Eccles-Looper is back waiting on the kick from Spencer Roth. First punt of the football game. Not a great one, end over end. And it's, I think, going to hit a Baylor player as it goes out of bounds around the 31-yard line. Coming up tonight on ESPN, SEC doubleheader for you at 6. 7th-ranked Crimson Tide of Alabama against Brett Bielema's Arkansas Hogs. Then at 9, Bo Wallace and the Rebels, number 3 in the country. College Station, they'll take on 14th-ranked Texas A&M. There's the battle of quarterbacks tonight. Bo Wallace coming off a dream of a lifetime last week.
Yeah.
Kenny Hill has been as good as anybody in the country. Even though they've lost a game, he's already got 21 touchdown passes. Here's Boykin going deep again. Oh, just off the fingertips of Listenby. It would have been another big game. I don't think we've seen this many quarterbacks go long this early in a football game in a long time.
Well, again, press coverage. It's not necessarily blitz with straight man-to-man and no safety help. But one thing Baylor does, they play their safeties close to the line of scrimmage, usually inside of 10 yards. And that invites you to take those deep shots down the field.
Phil Bennett's defense for Baylor has been really stingy, but they've already given up 2 touchdowns here in the first quarter with just under 7 minutes remaining. And now they come out with a strange alignment. Now they bring their left tackle back in. 3 receivers to Boykin's left, but he's coming back, rolling that way. A lot of pressure, and he's run out of bounds on the far side. KJ Smith and Andrew Billings over there chasing him out of bounds.
Nice play by KJ Smith, who's getting the start tonight because they lost Jamal Palmer last week. In their win against Texas, one of their starting defensive ends toward ACL, and so KJ Smith in there starting at defensive end.
So Baylor would like to come up with a stop here. You saw Phil Bennett. 42% of their third down conversions. This is a big one. 3rd and 9, little slip screen to the outside, and there's what Baylor was looking for as Desmond White gets planted right about at the line of scrimmage.
Taylor Young, who's also getting the start today. A redshirt freshman linebacker from DeSoto, Texas, in for Avion Edwards, who is out with an ankle injury. Loved hearing Phil Bennett talk about Taylor Young to us yesterday and makes a big play right there on 3rd down.
Expected big things from a little guy, and he got one there. Ethan Perry to punt. Levi Norwood waits back in the middle of your screen on the other end.
Last week, it was the special teams that really turned things around for Baylor in their win over Texas.
Nice kick. And great coverage. Nice punt and even better coverage.
Yep.
Lost about 4 trying to return it. Not a lot of undefeateds remaining. We got 2 of them here. So somebody's going to go home with their first loss in Waco. Petty again goes down. Tuaua with a sack, the 2nd of the ball game.
Well, this is coverage. I mean, he wants to throw this quick. He has nowhere to go with the football. And Bryce Petty's just got to get his clock going a little bit faster because TCU has the ability to close the pocket quickly. So he either has to make a throw or take off running or throw the ball away because 2nd and 10 is better than 2nd and 13.
Mike Tuaua's 3rd sack of the year. Quick pass complete out to Corey Coleman, and Coleman broke a couple of tackles. They're still going to bring up 3rd down, but he got 11 of it back. And again, they line up in a hurry. A 3rd down that they really have to have here.
Absolutely.
Got to get something positive going, and they're not going to get it. Not even close.
You see the inside tackles. I mean, they are strong football players. McFarland came from the end position. Chucky Hunter in there, number 96 as well. Very difficult guys to run on inside. Watch 96 just hold his ground on the double team and spin back into the tackle.
Wow, heck of a play. Guy that's up for just about every defensive award there is, the Outland, the Lombardi, and all the rest. Forces a 4th down and 2, and now Roth's got to kick it again. Interesting formation again in the punting. They have the 3-man shield in front of him, though, and the kick fielded on a fair catch at about the 27-yard line. TCU up 14-0 with a ball back at their own 27-yard line.
Again, look at how shallow the safeties are for Baylor. Inside of 10 yards here. That invites those opportunities to throw down the field.
Boykin will keep it on the option, cuts back to the right side. A stiff arm, and then tried to hurdle the last man. He still got about 5, though, before Ryan Reed could put him down. Todd mentioned this earlier. Last year, Boykin actually threw 1 pass for 21 yards. It was a touchdown, but he was playing wide receiver.
Yeah.
Couple catches for 14 yards. He's come a long way. Finally, he had spring and summer to be a quarterback full time, and it's paying off.
Well, there's been a couple things that have really helped him. I'll talk about it after this play.
Option pitch. Boykin got leveled. Catalan has nowhere to hide either.
That was good defense. Colin Brents, number 38, was the guy who got to the quarterback first. He forced the pitch, and the pitch was a little bit behind Catalan, which caused the play to slow down. Good quick reaction by Colin Brents.
Baylor sideline trying to fire up their defense on 3rd down and 8.
And see, the corners are playing off now. They're not as much into press coverage. Look at the distance they're giving over here because they've been burnt a couple times already by the fade routes.
Especially Listenby, who already has a touchdown catch. Boykin gonna go deep, left sideline. Same guy, different result, incomplete.
And once again, Colin Brents was the guy who hit the quarterback. Came on an outside rush, unblocked. Got a good hit on Boykin, and that ball sailed out of bounds.
Both teams with 2 straight 3-and-outs. As Perry will kick again, Levi Norwood on the return and back inside his 30.
Last week against Texas, it was a blocked field goal return for a touchdown and a fake punt that kind of turned the game. The special teams of Baylor.
Nice high spiral and a fair catch back at the 23-yard line. 48-yard kick, no return.
Baylor has to figure out how to get their running game going a little bit. They come into the game averaging 247 yards a game, 5 yards a carry, and they have not been able to run very much at all. 35 yards so far against TCU.
Petty's going to go deep. Man's got a weight on it and couldn't make the catch. Cannon was out there, had a step on Hackett and Kindred.
You know what?
And Petty didn't get out there far enough.
But watch what Kindred does. Instead of running into the receiver on this underthrow, he kind of sidesteps out of the way. That's a ball that should have been caught by Cannon. I think Cannon thought that Kindred was going to run into him. I thought he was going to get the pass interference, and he lost concentration on the football.
Coleman in the backfield. This is his 2nd carry. And Coleman, nice run out for a 1st down at the 34-yard line.
The reason we're seeing Coleman is because Johnny Jefferson, their other back, is in street clothes. So they have to have somebody to sub for Shock Linwood, and now they're using Corey Coleman, a wide receiver, at the running back side.
Johnny Jefferson tweaked his hamstring this week. That's why he's not out there. Petty going deep on 1st down, and he's got it. And it's a touchdown. Antoine Goodlay. 66 yards for the touchdown.
Well, Bryce Petty found the matchup he wanted. His fastest receiver, Goodley, on a safety, Sam Carter. And this time the deep throw finds a connection.
Chris Callahan in for the point after. And whistle before the kick. Might have been a false start, which will make it a little more difficult for Callahan.
False start. Offense, number 41. 5-yard penalty. Try.
Well, Goodley is not your typical looking receiver. He's 5'11", 220 pounds, very physical, but with great straight ahead speed. Now he has only played, this is his 4th game this year. He missed a couple games with a hamstring injury. They think he's close to 100%. Looked pretty good on that one.
A preseason All-American after catching 13 touchdown passes a year ago on 71 catches, and as Todd said, maybe 95% healthy right now. Looked pretty healthy on this one. 66-yard strike from Bryce Petty, and the lead is down to a touchdown. Now the sideline's got something to be excited about, as first touchdown of the day for Baylor. Short kick to the 10. Echols looper. Nice return after the 35-yard line. I love 27-second scoring drives.
Yeah. Well, they had to convert on 3rd down, and they got it with the run with Coleman, the wide receiver. An 11-yard run, and that set up the deep throw to Goodley. Their running game has had some problems. Nice block at the end by the freshman receiver, Katie Cannon. But that key run on 3rd down for 11 yards kind of set that drive up.
2 tight end set again for TCU at the 35-yard line. Play action. Boykin going to throw a screen. Actually, he's going to throw it almost to Baylor. Incomplete. And the defense did a nice job of blowing that one up.
Yeah, they did. I think TCU needs to try to get B.J. Catalon going in their run game a little bit too. You know, you throw every time on 1st down. If you don't connect, 2nd and 10 is difficult against an aggressive defense like Baylor's.
Problem is, Todd, he just limped off.
Yeah.
Aaron Green takes his spot in the TCU backfield. 2nd down and 10. Here comes a full blitz. Boykin running for his life and throws it out of bounds over the Baylor bench.
Taylor Young in pursuit. 2nd down and 10. A good blitz down. Come after the quarterback.
They might come again. 3rd and 10.
Well, this is one where I think they might show blitz and drop out. Try to fool Boykin with coverage on this 3rd down and 10.
They showed it for a second, and as Todd said, back out of it. Boykin fires over the head of his intended receiver. Incomplete. Intended for Deontay Gray. And it's a punting situation. Now the crowd's into it.
And all of a sudden, this Baylor defense, the last 3 possessions, kind of getting their feet under it. They got shocked the first part of the game with some big plays, some deep throws, and all of a sudden now they've started to get their feet under them.
Ethan Perry to punt. 3rd straight 3 and out for the Horned Frogs. And this punt's going to bounce backward before it goes out of bounds. And it's going to be a pretty good field position for Baylor. Only a 27-yard punt. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, it did take Baylor some time to settle down defensively. As you guys mentioned, they're playing without 2 starters. Jamal Palmer out with that ACL tear. Because they lost him at defensive end, they've actually moved Sean Oakman. Normally, he's on the other side of the defensive end. The coach on Monday said, hey, come in here. Let's see if you can get in a stance and be comfortable coming off the left edge. So that is a surprise that TCU maybe wasn't aware of. I've seen them put a tight end over there at times, and he's been disruptive on that left side.
Oakman's got the pink hair for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Wasn't that color a couple of days ago. Petty, deep ball again. And caught by Coleman. That one was underthrown, and Coleman made a play of it.
Well, this is just a case where a receiver knows where the ball is, and a defender does not. The defender, Anthony Texada, has no idea where the ball is. Coleman did, and he made a play for it and got the completion.
To the 15-yard line. And on the ground, it's one of the better runs. Shock Littlewood for 5 to the 10. This is one of those where you don't even want to go to the refrigerator because you're going to miss something. Minute to go, first quarter. We expected a high-scoring affair. Baylor trying to tie it up. They've got it. 1st and goal. And they're only about 4 yards away from tying it up.
Well, the game last year in Fort Worth was a 41-38 ball game that went back and forth. Baylor built a big lead thanks to some turnovers by TCU. TCU fought back and had a chance with 11 seconds to tie it up, but threw another interception.
They spotted at the 5. To the run game and no gain for Linwood. Dawson and Mallett, the 2 linebackers, combined on the stop.
This is where I would look for Goodley, again, because of his strength. He's an outside receiver, but at 220 pounds, if you get him on an inside route, he's got great strength working for the football.
He's out to the right side. Petty's going that way. Corner. Too far out in front of K.D. Cannon. Tried to throw the fade and threw it out of bounds. Sam Carter was covering. And it's 3rd and goal. And this is 2-down territory for Art Briles, if you ask me, so we'll see.
When your field goal kicker's 1 for 6 and you like to go for 4th downs anyway, yeah.
Empty backfield for Bryce Petty.
Wouldn't be surprised if a quarterback draw here either. Petty, a very good runner.
Wanted to throw the fade again, asked to scramble. And throws it out of the back of the end zone. 4th down. Chucky Hunter was giving chase on Bryce Petty and got him to the turf after he let go of that pass.
We're going to go for a field goal here.
You said Chris Callahan's 1 for 6, and his longest this year is 23 yards. This one's basically going to be not much longer than an extra point. It'll be a 22-yard attempt.
Well, I think Art Briles is just realizing we need points here. We got something going. We got a chance to get on the scoreboard again. We're right here in the football game at home. Let's try to make this a 4-point game.
Extra point is up and good. That was a kind of cool angle. I like that camera angle. Kicker likes that too. He made a field goal. 14-10. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary through 15 minutes. A lot of offense already. 224 yards for Baylor in total yardage.
Neither team able to run very effectively. A couple key runs at key times, and Bryce Petty talked about wanting to kind of relax and let the game come to him. He's starting to do that. They got off to a little bit of a sluggish start, but here the last few possessions, they've hit some shots down the field and got themselves right back in the ball game.
He's already got 62 more passing yards than he had all of last week in the win over Texas, so he's off to a great start in the first quarter. And the second quarter set to begin. Brad Nessler, Tom Blackledge, Holly Rowe with you from McLean Stadium in Waco. First 2 possessions, 133 yards and a couple of touchdowns, and then it's been 3 and outs since. Let's see if Boykin can get him going again. Hicks with him in the backfield. They'll start at the 10-yard line. Boykin completes. Doxson right at the first down marker.
Listenby is the speed guy on the outside. Dotson is more the strong route runner, bigger target guy at 6'4", 190. Good decision that time by Boykin, getting the first down throw.
Dotson had a good game against Baylor last year. 5 catches, including a touchdown. That one got him just enough for the first down. And Boykin keeps this, and he's run out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. Holly's right there. Might as well go to her.
Boykin under some pressure that time. There's a change on the offensive line for TCU. The left tackle, Tayo Fabulje, is out. They were getting him an inhaler here on the sideline. He's out for the next few plays. So they've moved right tackle Vaitai over to the left tackle. Number 68, Joseph Noteboom, has come in at right tackle, so they're trying to get readjusted on the O-line.
And you saw Holly almost made the tackle on that last play on the sideline. Second down 10.
And interesting, Baylor has moved Oakman back over to work on that right side against the new tackle.
Boykin straight down the middle, and Listenby didn't quite get his head turned around. I don't know if he could have caught it anyway. Xavier Howard was covering. And it's 3rd and 10.
I think Boykin was just a little too early with this throw. He wasn't under duress. He didn't allow Listenby to get separation and get his head around. Otherwise, he might still be running because there was no safety help in the middle of the field.
3rd time now TCU's been on a 3rd down and 10 or more. Little different set here. Two running backs in there, Hicks and Catalon flanking Boykin on 3rd and 10. Right sideline, good throw, good catch. David Porter, first down. Needed 10 and got 11.
Well, take a look at the new right tackle, Joseph Noteboom, working on Oakman now, 68. That's a great job against a good time, big pass rusher. Run him up the field.
Oakman, their #1 sack artist with 5, and he is a huge guy, 6'9", 280 pounds, wearing #2.
Transferred from Penn State a couple years ago.
Hicks got leveled at not quite the first down marker, about a yard shy. Blackshear's a player, man. Bo Blackshear, one of the captains of the defense, in on the stop again, along with Byron Bonds. And it's 3rd and 1. They had long yardage on 3rd down. This is a short one. Will Boykin keep it himself? Nope, he's going to pitch it up, fumble, but a one-hopper and a first down. Yeah. You talk about a nice bounce.
That's a turf bounce. Maybe on a grass field it doesn't bounce up that clean, but on this field turf, it was a good pitch. I think Catalon just didn't concentrate, but fortunate that ball bounced right back up to him.
Looked like a point guard instead of a tailback.
Under further review.
I think they're trying to determine whether or not this was a lateral or a forward pass. They're looking at it anyway. Oh, could be.
Yeah, that could be an incomplete pass and bring up 4th down and 1.
Bill Lamagna is our expert up here, the rules expert, former official. What do you think, Bill?
I think we have a forward pass, hit the ground, incomplete.
Yep.
Oh, wait, going Baylor tradition since the
fact that he dropped the ball is the problem here for TCU.
The other thing they have to do, they've already moved the chains, so if indeed they feel that this is a forward pass, they're going to have to figure out where the line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage was, and Randy Crystal's going to tell us right now.
After review, the previous play is confirmed. 1st and 10.
Well, it'll be a first down, so they don't have to worry about the chain gang.
Yeah.
Bill, what do you think? You thought it was a forward pass, didn't you?
Yeah, the first look we had at it, I thought he pitched it forward, but possibly with the angle they had, they determined it went lateral and confirmed the call on the field.
So big play there. Kind of put that one in the notepad right now and see if this ends up being a scoring drive. That'll be a heck of a big play. Boykin wide open and caught by Dotson, and he almost turned around and got away from Ryan Reed.
Well, I like the quarterback pocket awareness of Boykin. You see him working his feet, moving from one progression to the next. He started reading left and worked all the way across the field to find Dotson for that one.
TCU first down in BYU territory, Baylor territory, beg your pardon, at the 41. Straight up the gut. Catalon might have gotten 3 before Bryce Hager dragged him back the other way.
Hager coming into the game, the team leader in tackles with 29. Dad was a great player in Texas with the Philadelphia Eagles. And Phil Bennett said, we don't take him out of the game unless we absolutely have to. If he needs a break, we'll give him a break. We want him on the field all the time.
They only lost 2 games last year. 2 of them were when he was injured. Boykin throws off his back foot, just a desperation heave to get away from the rush that Colin Brentz was bringing. And it's 3rd down and long again.
2nd down has been the blitz down for Baylor. They've forced Boykin to throw the ball away a couple times in a row now on 2nd down.
They've converted a couple of 3rd downs on this drive already, which is in its 12th play. 3rd down and 8. They back out of the blitz look. Boykin in trouble, getting away from it momentarily, and he's still on his feet. and throws complete, but it's short of the first down. Emmanuel Porter made the catch. Picked up about 4 when it looked like he was going to be sacked for about a 12-yard loss.
Well, the fact that he got the completion, though, brings up an interesting situation now for Gary Patterson. I think they'll go for it now. They're out of field goal range, but because they got the short completion, they've got a manageable situation here on 4th down to try to go for it.
I'd kick a field goal here. Oberkron can do it from that distance, but they're going on 4th and 4. Blitz. Boykin caught and still going is Dotson all the way inside the 10-yard line.
So I'd throw a slant to Dotson. That's what I'd do.
I knew you were going to get me on that one. 26 yards down to the 9 and going in a hurry. Baylor's trying to change up defensive personnel. I don't know if they ever got who they wanted out there. Catalon's going to be dragged down to the line of scrimmage, though. Nice play.
Yeah, real nice play. The safety.
Stewart.
Ryan Stewart came from his safety position to get a play behind the line of scrimmage.
15th play of the drive.
2 tight ends. Option formation.
And a walk-in again for Catalan. Touchdown, TCU. Nobody touched him for the second time.
What a great block by Jamel Knapp, the left guard, number 77. Just took his man right up the field. Nice block by the left tackle. And an easy touchdown for Catalan.
Overcrom in for the point after.
Fabulajay was back in that possession. And he is the left tackle, and Jamel Knapp, the left guard, just really opened things up easily for Catalan.
Like I said, I'd go for it on 4th down, throw the slant, and then give it to this guy. 15 play, 90-yard drive, touchdown, TCU.
Well, that was an impressive drive right there.
Boy.
TCU converted 2 third downs and 1 4th down. And for the game now, TCU 4 of 8 on 3rd down. Baylor only 1 of 6. So one of the games within the game, TCU has the advantage going.
Overcrom's kick will be returnable from the goal line. Hawthorne. Nice move. Hawthorne to the middle of the field and spins his way out across the 30. Oregon's dropped to 12th after being up there in the top 5. Here's Baylor at number 5 and trailing 9th-ranked TCU on their home field. Petty runs for about a yard. Had to scramble, couldn't find an open receiver.
I tell you, this coverage has been pretty solid for TCU. They've given up a couple big plays down the field, but they've also forced Bryce Petty to go somewhere else a couple times.
Petty running out of time again. Going to loft one on the sideline and throws it out of bounds. So it's 3rd down and 8.
Yep, that's 2 plays in a row where the coverage has forced Bryce Petty, wants to scramble and wants to throw it away. They're guarding and covering the short and intermediate routes very well. They've given up some plays on the deeper routes in the ball game.
Dick Bumpus, the defensive coordinator for TCU. Baylor's been unsuccessful the last 5 3rd down conversions. Petty, plenty of time now. And throws complete.
Should be right on the mark.
Yep. They're going to give him the first down.
That's a veteran receiver, and Goodley, a senior, who knew what he needed for the first down and got right to the mark.
And again, they quickly go. First down at the 42, play fake, and that throw is just errant that time. Way over the head of Katie Cannon.
In this offense, so many times, Bryce Petty has to throw that ball so quickly. And a lot of times I asked him, do you throw many throws where you don't get the laces? He says, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
And it's gotten to the point where I'm actually probably more comfortable without the laces. And that's such a change in college football. I mean, nobody ever used to throw the ball without the laces.
This time he hands the laces off, and it's only about a yard gain for Linwood. Chris Hackett, nice open field tackle.
TCU's defense, they're sound fundamentally, and they tackle well in space. They make you earn everything. You just don't see them break down defensively very often. If you make plays, you've got to earn them.
3rd down and 9. Petty looks to the sideline to Coach Briles, who's right there in the corner of your screen at about the 38-yard line. Play clock down to 5. Just a 3-man rush on Petty, and it's going to be the quarterback who's going to try to get it, and he won't get there. Got to midfield, but he's a couple yards shy. Dawson in on the tackle.
This was a called quarterback draw because both the back and the guard, Blake Muir, went ahead to block. That was a called quarterback run. Came up a little short. 4th down. Looks like Art Briles is in a position to go for it.
Just shaded on the TCU side of the 50. They're 1 for 2 on their 4th down conversion. So here comes another one. And boy, if TCU gets a stop here, they're going to have great field position. They don't get the stop though.
Yeah.
Best run of the day maybe by Baylor, and it's Chafin who picks up 8.
And a nice read and cut by Chafin, because you can't run inside very easily on TCU. He faked inside and bounced it outside and easily picked it up.
Now play action. Petty might want to take a shot here. He's got a wide open guy out in the flat though, and that's Goodley. About an 8-yard gain again. Carter made the hit. So we're down to 7.5 minutes in the half. TCU 21-10 lead, but Baylor threatening again here. And another nice run off the left side, but that door closed in a hurry. Chris Hackett's made another couple of nice stops in open space out there on the running backs.
But they're getting a little balance back to their offense with the run game. You've got to be two-dimensional against a quality defense like TCU. They've got a little bit of thing going now with their run game.
And we had a 15-play drive by TCU. Now 10 plays and a touchdown for Corey Coleman. 29-yard touchdown.
See, they run the ball for some success, and that sets up the play action. They get single coverage on the outside against the redshirt freshman corner, and they go after it. But it was set up by their run game.
Callahan in for the point after. Not quite sure what the holdup's about. Bryce Petty with the second touchdown pass of the ball game so far.
Started a little slow. Has done a nice job of allowing this game to unfold and to not get frustrated against TCU's defense, because you just got to know they're going to make some plays. They're going to create some negative plays. You just got to hang in there. When you get opportunities down the field, you have to capitalize on it.
Extra point is good. 7:07 remaining in the first half. Bryce Petty, 11 touchdown passes on the season now. This is his second of the day to Corey Coleman, and it's 21-17.
Both teams showing their big play capabilities. We talked about explosive plays, runs of 10 yards or more, passes of 20 yards or more. Who would have the most by the end of the day?
Spencer Evans with a kickoff. Hicks fields it at the 5. And got upended as he got to about the 23-yard line. This is the first time these two teams have played each other in all those years, dating back to 1899, where they're both ranked, much less both in the top 10. Only the second top 10 clash ever for Baylor. Last time was 1956 when they were playing Texas A&M. Todd wasn't even around then. Pass complete to Dotson. Picked up about 3.
Little subtle change with Phil Bennett's defense. They are starting to give a little bit more cushion to Listenby, and they're putting more press coverage on the other side against Dotson. Dotson more the route runner, Listenby the guy that runs by you. They're changing it up from play to play.
Oakman out of the defensive lineup right now. Brian Nance has taken his spot on the defensive front. Boykin quick slant too far behind Deontay Gray. Boy, when they've got it going, they've got big plays, touchdowns, and then they've got 3 and outs. Another 3rd down here.
If he sees press, he might take a shot at Listenby over the top.
He's hit, and down he goes, and the ball is out. His offensive line covers for him. But it's going to be a punting situation and another 3 and out. Bryce Hager made the hit on Boykin.
Yeah, nice delayed blitz by Hager. He's going to kind of come slow, and then at the last minute loop around to the outside where there's nobody to block him, and knocks the ball loose of Boykin. TCU very fortunate to get back on that one.
Perry's punt short, bounces and goes backward about 7 yards, and this is going to be great field position right now. Baylor, their defense comes up with a play, and now their offense sets up shop at the 40-yard line.
And a perfect spot to go play action deep right away on 1st down.
We'll see if they do it when we come back. Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week, where it's 21-17 TCU.
Well, Baylor up to 73 yards rushing, and what that does, watch these linemen on the last touchdown, the tight end. They are going to block run, and that really makes it difficult for a defense to play action pass. As long as those linemen don't go beyond 3 yards down the field, they can block a running play, and that makes it very difficult to read whether it's pass or run against this Baylor offense.
Remember, after that short punt of 25 yards, Baylor from the 40 might want a shot right here. Down the middle and one-handed. Nope, in and out. Armstead had it, couldn't hold it.
That's a hard catch for a 6'6" former offensive tackle running full speed down the middle. You got to throw that one up around the 4 and the 1 for him.
Yeah, he's kind of dangling that arm that he tried to haul it in with as he heads to the sideline. Gus Penning will come in and take his spot at tight end on 2nd down and 10. Here's Chafin. He kind of bulldogged his way for about 5.
Chafin's given him a little spark running it. Linwood had a huge game last week against Texas. 148 yards on 28 carries. We mentioned Johnny Jefferson out of the ball game. They've had Coleman back there. Now Chafin giving him another guy to go to.
3rd down and 5. Petty had a guy right in his grill and he tried to get the pass out there, and Mallett was the guy applying the pressure. Incompletes 4th and 5.
Yeah, but that's a throw that Bryce Petty's got to make. 2 throws on this drive with great field position, both inaccurate, that could have been big-time plays. That would have been an easy conversion on 3rd down.
2 out of 3 today on 4th down. They go again here. Got to get to the 30-yard line for the 1st down. They're going to try to run for it, and they're not going to get it. Not even close. A little surprised at that one.
Well, they tried to fool him with the run, but the bad throw on 1st down, which would have been a big play, and the misfire on 3rd down, which would have been a conversion, stalled the drive.
2nd time today that TCU takes over on downs, and they've got it back with 5:09 remaining and all their timeouts left, and a 21-17 lead.
Trevon Boykin needs to be very careful with the football right now. This is a critical time for TCU's offense.
He's going to run this one all the way, and got a nice block out in front, and he's going to get a 1st down before Hager can knock him out of bounds.
Great call and a great decision, because the thing that's hurt TCU in this 1st half, even though they have the lead, is they've been held without a 1st down on 4 of their 7 possessions because they haven't been able to run the football. Only 46 yards rushing. 1st down play in that drive, a designed quarterback run. Good time for that call.
He picked up 12 out to the 45. Again, both teams have all their timeouts. Catalan, nice tackle. Boy, that guy's a football player.
He is.
Looked like he was going to get by Hager, and Hager said,
Had a little late something happen at the end of the play also. At the end of the play, Deontay Gray was without his helmet. Let's see if it was a personal foul one way or the other. A dead ball play at the end of the play.
Personal foul, face mask, number 13. Number 20 does not have to leave the ball game because of the foul. 1st and 10.
Terrell Burt. And
Gray is blocking on him, and I don't know.
He loses his lid, but he doesn't have to come out of the game because it was forced off his head.
Yeah, he kind of pushed it off of his head.
Burt's a guy that had the game-sealing interception in the end zone that ended last year's game. And here it's a first down at the 37 now for Boykin and company. Still plenty of time to work with here late in the second quarter. That was a tough one. He got pressure and he kind of threw that off his back foot, never really got into the throw.
I think that was Billings creating the pressure, coming right over the front. Billings is a powerful, powerful man in there. 6'2", 300-pounder from here in Waco.
Set the Texas State prep record, over 2,000 pounds lifting weights. Broke the record of Mark Henry, who was at one time the world's strongest man in the Olympics. And Boykin, another strong run.
Boy, this is smart. This is smart by Doug Meacham. Sonny Cumbie, we're having trouble running the football. We've hit some explosive plays, run it. Let's go to some design quarterback runs to see if we can open some things up. And 2 runs by Boykin on this drive have gained big yardage.
TCU is going to take.
I think Baylor had a player. Yeah, Baylor had a player down on the sideline. Might have been Billings.
It was.
Chasing that play. A little slow getting up.
He's a Waco native too. Waco High School. 805-pound squat, a 500-pound bench press, and a 705-pound deadlift when he was a senior in high school. You kidding me?
That's just ridiculous.
That's just insane. Mentioned Mark Henry was an Olympian. He's now a WWE wrestler. Still one of the strongest guys in the world. 4-minute mark. First down at the 23. I don't know how Boykin got away from the first guy. The first guy stayed with it, though. Sean Oakman does make the tackle. Oakman's got to be a frightening sight when you're a quarterback. He's huge. And he's fast.
Great wingspan. He's still raw as a football player, still developing from a skill standpoint, but what an athletic talent.
Second down at 10 on the option. Boykin slips and goes down. Might have gotten a yard out of it. Taylor Young there to make sure he didn't go any further.
Couple nice plays by the Baylor defense in a row after they gave up some chunk plays. They got down in their own territory and they've tightened things up here, bringing up 3rd down.
Phil Bennett, the defensive coordinator, hoping his team can prevent a 3rd down and 9 here.
Empty backfield.
They're going to bring a little pressure off the edge. The throw's incomplete, intended for Dotson, and Reed had good coverage.
There's a good route, a good throw, and a good play by Reed all the way around.
That's a win for the Baylor defense. They're going to force a field goal. Oberkram 6 out of 9 on the year. He's had 1 blocked.
Force a field goal and a lot of time left in the first half for their offense.
Zach Allen to hold. It'll be a 39-yard attempt. This one's going to be coming right at you. And right through the middle. 3 more for TCU. They stretch the lead back to a touchdown again. TCU under Gary Patterson, when they lead at the half, they almost never lose. I don't know if they'll have the lead or not because there's still plenty of time left for Baylor's offense to work, and they still have all their timeouts remaining. I think in a perfect world it would be 24-24 at halftime. You and I can go have a hot dog. We'll come back and do this again.
That's what TCU and Oklahoma were at halftime last week, 24-24.
Shorter kick this time to the 5 to Hawthorne. Only got to about the 22, though. That's where Baylor will start with 2:39 remaining in the second quarter.
Well, we talked about explosive plays in this game. Which team would have the most? Runs of 10 or more, passes of 20 or more. TCU, 3 runs, 3 passes. Baylor, 3 runs, 4 passes. And we also talked about turnovers. Baylor has the 1 turnover. TCU to this point 0. So that's why we have such a close ball game.
Last year, Bryce Petty completed 62% of his passes for 4,200 yards and 32 touchdowns with just 3 interceptions. Today, not quite as sharp, but he does have 2 touchdown passes in the first 2 quarters so far.
You just have to take advantage of opportunities.
Here comes a shot downfield. Overshot his intended receiver, Katie Cannon.
See, a defense like TCU, they're going to contest everything. They're going to contest every run. They're going to contest every pass. And it's hard to have like a 25 for 30 type night throwing against them. You're going to have 50% type completion rate, but you're going to have opportunities to make some big plays down the field, because of the way they play and how aggressive they are.
Bryce is 11 of 25. He's 12 of 26. And complete to Cannon this time. Short of the first down by about a yard. So 3rd down and 1, and this is one they could really use right here. Corey Coleman in the backfield again. The quick throw is a first down toss, and just barely. Forward progress is going to give it to him by about a yard. Levi Norwood made the catch. The defense was right there, but he had about a foot across, 2 feet across the first down marker before he was knocked backward. So they move the sticks to the 33. This is the 50th play in the first half for Baylor. And it's a deep ball by Petty. Got a man and got him on the run. Katie Cannon, touchdown. We're an extra point away from 24-24. That was a beauty.
Yep. And I think Kevin White expected some help from the inside from a safety. He had outside leverage on that route, and there was not help coming in time. And a beautiful throw by Bryce Petty. Again, you have to take advantage of those opportunities.
We said maybe to be 24-24 at halftime. We still got 1:49 to go, though, and we got a flag down on the extra point. Here's the touchdown again.
Now watch the outside position by the corner. He thinks the safety's going to help. The safety's late getting there, and Bryce Petty reads that and lays it out for Katie Cannon. A little mix-up with the TCU secondary. You're not going to have great numbers, but you will have opportunities to make big throws down the field. And Bryce Petty, patient and takes advantage of it.
You think you're going to take some long shots? Todd talked about this at the beginning of the game. Those are some long shots.
Yeah, you have to have a mindset as a quarterback in a game like this and say, you know what, this defense is good. They're going to make some plays, but they're going to give us some chances to make some big ones too.
Only 5,140 in here. They haven't led, but now they're tied. And we're jumping around just like Madison, Wisconsin here in Waco, Texas.
What a great place.
It is. Catalan from the 6. BJ's got an opening. Kicker to beat. Catalan taking it coast to coast. Frog fans can jump around. They're back in front. 94 yards for the touchdown.
Well, just a breakdown in coverage for Baylor because nobody even got a glove on Catalan.
You know, his 2 touchdown runs, he wasn't touched.
Yeah,
he wasn't touched on that one either.
Well, you said it. There's still a minute and 40 whatever left. Maybe we're not done.
Overcrum for the point after. 31-24 TCU.
You got the crowd energized. You're right back in the game. You're thinking it's tied, but you don't cover the kick with discipline, and nobody even gets a hand on B.J. Catalan. Some good blocks, but that was easy, just like his 2 touchdown runs were.
Again, the only guy that even got a glove on him was the kicker, and that was all she wrote. 94 yards later, touchdown. Trevon Boykin's going, go BJ, go BJ, go BJ.
So if you're Art Briles, the bad news is you just gave up a kick return. The good news is your offense still has a minute 38 left here in the first half. So who knows? We may not be done yet.
BJ's dad passed away in the last year. He's got that on his wristband. And I'm sure Dad's looking down going, that a boy.
Wow. What a first half.
Jeez. I guess.
We're going to need extra hot dogs for energy for this second half.
Overcome. This one's deep. And they'll bring it out to the 25. Sure, LeBron and Chris Bosh aren't having any kind words to each other after the past week. They former teammates not talking now, I guess. Here we go, minute 38. Don't go away. Baylor with all its timeouts. Petty gonna go down. Sacked by Paul Dawson.
It was a delay rush by Paul Dawson. He didn't come right away, but when he saw the backs block, he came late on the pass rush and was able to get to Petty. Petty wanted to throw that ball early, and it was not open.
So a loss of 5 on the sack, 2nd and 15. 3-man rush, Petty the quick slant, and that one, again, a beautiful open field tackle, and that's Marcus Mallett, the middle linebacker.
Boy, Paul Dawson and Marcus Mallett, the 2 inside linebackers for this defense, have played outstanding, not just today, all season so far. They've really given outstanding leadership. Dawson was a wide receiver in high school, and now is an inside linebacker for this TCU defense.
Baylor's got all its timeouts remaining, and I don't think they're going to use one unless they get a first down. They didn't get it there.
Is that Goodley running? Yeah, Goodley is the tailback that time.
Timeout. TCU. That's their first. It's 30 seconds in length.
So timeout taken by TCU. Paul Dawson. Todd was just talking about him.
230-pounder out of Dallas. High school wide receiver. Went to junior college. Converted to a linebacker. Very active guy playing at a very high level this year.
He's one of our impact players. He's making an impact. Last week he did too. He had 11 tackles and a 41-yard interception return for a touchdown. That made him the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week coming into this game.
And he looked like a wide receiver on that interception. That was a beautiful play that he made last week. Timed his jump, caught it right at the line of scrimmage, didn't bobble it at all, and ran it into the end zone from 41 yards out.
So Baylor forced to punt. Eccles-Looper waiting on the kick from Spencer Roth. Eccles-Looper might have a shot at this one. Takes it on the fly at the 31. Kept his balance. Still on his feet. Eccles-Looper all the way out to the 48-yard line. 49, in fact. 17-yard return.
Well, because of that stop and calling timeout, and because of the decent punt return, right now TCU may be thinking, you know what, let's be aggressive here. We could take some shots down the field with Boykin, maybe get a chance to get in position for another field goal attempt with 1 or 2 completions. This field position, I think, will make TCU be aggressive here instead of conservative right at the end of the half with 26 seconds left.
Just outside the 48, first down. Baylor's bringing some pressure. Boykin's going to take a shot just off the fingertips of Listenby. Colin Brentz is a guy that got some pressure, but that was oh so close to being another big play.
Yep. Baylor anticipating TCU would be aggressive, brought a blitz, less single coverage, and that was the right decision by Boykin. Just a slight overthrow on the ball.
Obicron, we saw him on the sideline, the kicker. They've got to get about to the first down marker to even give him a shot. He's got a career long of 56. Draw play. Straight ahead to the 47. Hager makes the stop on Hicks. And another timeout with 13 seconds remaining.
Timeout. TCU.
Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, and our ABC, ESPN crew. Waco, Texas. We expected a high-scoring affair. We got one.
Yep. Well, with TCU having one timeout left, the whole field is open for them right now on this third down play. So they could look to work the middle of the field. They got to get a conversion, obviously. But the middle of the field is open as well to them right here with that timeout.
They'd like to get it down to maybe the 37-yard line, somewhere around there, to give Obicron a shot. 3rd and 6. Boykin deep drop, deep middle, off the fingertips of Slanina. Incomplete.
Well, now you do one of two things on 4th down with 8 seconds left. You either punt it or you just throw one to the end zone. And it looks like they're going to punt the football away.
Yep. So Ethan Perry in to kick on 4th down and 6. Levi Norwood stands back at his 10-yard line. It's one thing we haven't had so far today is a punt return for a touchdown. Just saying. Whoa! We haven't had a bad snap either. Baylor's got it with a second left.
1 second left.
And it's Sean Oakman. But that one is on the snapper.
James Power, the snapper, not very powerful on that one. Way over the head. No chance for Ethan Perry.
And now Bryce Petty has one shot. Oh, they're going to come out. They're going to take the 3.
Yeah, you got to kick it here.
Although Callahan hasn't been Mr. Dependable from field goal territory this year so far. This will be a 24-yarder. He made a 22-yarder earlier. Gary Patterson having a talk with Randy Crystal.
I think Gary Patterson is wondering how there's still 1 second left. He's thinking that that clock should have run out as Oakman was trying to corral the football. Maybe in Fort Worth it does. Here in Waco, there's 1 second left.
So Baylor, a 24-yard field goal away from a 3-point gift.
I thought the clock was going to run out. I didn't think there would be 1 second left.
Callahan's kick is good. They do get the 3-point gift as the half comes to a close. Third quarter set to begin, and Baylor's got it teed up. Don't want to kick it to that guy necessarily. Deontay Gray along with Catalan back at the goal line. They're going to pooch kick, and fair catch taken at the 33-yard line. They didn't want to get it in the hands of Catalan again. As we check in with Holly.
Gary Patterson of TCU was having a heated conversation with the officials just before the half. I asked him what he said to the officials, and he said, I think there should be no time left on the clock. When I asked what the officials said back, they said there's 1 second left on the clock. So Gary Patterson, very politically correct with me. He does not want to get fined, but he thought that time ran out there at the end of the first half. I also asked him about their offense, how they're airing it out tonight, taking those big plays when they can get them. And he said, Holly, that's who we are now. That's what we do.
That is what they do now with the two new coordinators offensively. There's what Trevon Boykin did in the first half. Did a lot with his legs as well. Empty backfield. Quick throws complete. And it's going to be close to a first down to Slanina.
You know, and I understand not wanting to kick to Catalan, but that short kick gives them excellent starting field position on the first possession of the third quarter.
Yep.
An aggressive play call on first down, and now they're out beyond the 40.
Keeper by Boykin. Ooh, did he get drilled? And guess who? Bryce Hager again.
Boy, you talk about fundamental tackling. That's the kind that would make Chris Spielman smile when you run through the man, not to the man, but through the man.
Pick up of a couple will be second down at 8. 3 receivers to the top of your screen for Boykin.
Second down has been the blitz down for Baylor so far in this game.
It is again. Quick slant back to the left side for the first down toss to Listenby. Pick up of 15.
Boy, what a route by Listenby. Really stuck that left foot in the ground. Made it look like he was going outside, and a sharp cut back to the inside to get separation for the first down.
As Todd said, we're a minute into the quarter, and TCU's in Baylor territory. Short kick, couple of first downs. First down at the 41. Boykin. Going deep, right sideline. A man makes an adjustment. Dotson pulls it in.
This is going to be
and a flag.
offense. This is going to be offensive pass interference, I think. This was a severely underthrown ball. I mean, you know, there's one thing to throw a back shoulder throw. This was severely underthrown by Boykin.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 9. Get 15-yard penalty. First down.
Reed is in coverage, number 9. And he's in good position, and Dotson sees how far it's underthrown. A little bit of a push-off, wasn't much, but enough to draw the flag. Had that left hand on him. I don't know.
I don't either. They're not in Baylor territory anymore with the penalty. Back at the 44-yard line. First and 25. Right through a blitz. The throw's complete out to the 49. Pick up a 5. Right in the face of Colin Brentz, who was coming off that corner, and Boykin threw it right past his ear.
Last second down play, they went slant to Listenby. He's down at the bottom of the screen now, number 7. Again, the safety's way up for Baylor.
Again, the extra pressure. The slant goes the other way to Catalan. And he's to the 39-yard line. Pick up a 12 more. And they're kind of chipping away at that long yardage. First and 25.
Yeah, smart. Don't try to get it all back in one play. Take 2 plays to get yourself into a makeable third down at third down and 8.
They've had a bunch of 3rd and 8s and 10s today. They've got another one here. Empty backfield.
They might take a shot at Listenby here. Again, looks like single coverage at the bottom of the screen to his go-to receiver.
Boykin's 4 for 4 so far on this drive. And that one's broken up. Tried to get it to Dotson. Ryan Reed right there with him.
Ryan Reed played a beautiful ball game last week against Texas and has been pretty solid again tonight, working against a bigger receiver. Reed is 5'11", 190. Dotson 6'4", 190. Did a nice job of getting around that big body.
Hasn't been many situations for the punters today to try to drop one down inside the 10 or out of bounds. That's what Ethan Perry would like to do here. This one should bounce backward. Doesn't have to bounce at all. Fielded around the 12-yard line. That's where the Bears of Baylor will go to work, trailing by 4 when we come back. RG3 had a huge game with 5 touchdown passes. I'm not so sure we might not outdo that score today before this one's over.
Well, I don't know that you could have a more evenly played rivalry than the one we have either.
Yep. Each have won 51, I should say, or 7 ties. This is the 110th meeting.
You know, that first half, Bryce Petty, we talked about the mindset you have to have against a defense like this. Right around 50% completion, but he averaged 20 yards per his 15-yard completion.
And they get a first down on the ground.
See, now they've run 2 plays. That sets up a play action and a chance to throw the ball down the field. And again, what makes this Baylor offense difficult to read is a lot of their play action passes. The linemen and the backs and the tight ends are all blocking run, and the quarterback and wide receiver are throwing play action pass.
And now they got Goodley, a wide receiver, in the backfield with Petty. Gets the handle, but only gets to the line of scrimmage. Paul Dawson again made first contact from his linebacker spot. Brings up second down and 10. Petty with an empty backfield. Running out of time. On the move and on the run. Throws an interception to Kevin White. First mistake of the day for Petty.
Well, you know what I think happened? I think he got caught in between. Do I throw this away or do I try to get some yardage? And the problem was he threw it to the inside of his receiver instead of the outside. He's got to throw that between the receiver and the sideline, and Kevin White was there for the timely interception. That's one of those times as a quarterback, the defense wins. You either run it for a couple yards, you throw it away and play the next down. I think he got caught hesitating in between and made a costly mistake.
You saw TCU's defense. They live off turnovers. Every game they seem to get at least one. That's White's first interception of the year. They fake the pitch. Boykin going to the end zone. And penalty markers, and also caught for the touchdown. David Porter made an acrobatic catch at the end of a 23-yard pass.
Well, they've run option enough to set that play up. They faked the option. It was a 2-man route. They had one receiver running the crossing route to the middle of the end zone, and Porter running the wheel route to the outside. And Boykin got the touchdown.
Defense, number 13. The ruling on the field is a touchdown.
Nice play fake off the option, 2-man route. And the ball put in a position to the outside where Porter can make a play on it. Now he caught it, but was a foot down when he caught the football.
Yeah,
there it is.
It's under review.
He got that left foot down, no bobble of the football. A nice throw to the outside away from the defender.
Bill, what do you think about that call? You think he was bobbling it, or did he have control?
That view we saw looked like we had a potential bobble as he was going to the ground. He landed out of bounds then. So if that's determined, he didn't have control, finished the process of the catch. Right in there, but it looks from that angle, it looks like he secured the ball.
Well, I don't know if it's enough to change it.
Left foot landed, but he was still trying to capture it at that point. You see the side judge right there with the flag on the pass interference. So it's either going to be a touchdown or a first down, either way. Again, David Ames is our replay official, talking things over with Randy Crystal.
And the ruling on the field was a catch for a touchdown.
Right. And if it's a touchdown, it'll be Boykin's second of the day.
Love the play call. Off of the turnover. An aggressive play that they had not shown. They showed enough option in the first half to set that play up. And they got what they wanted on the play action pass.
Talk about quick points off turnovers. That would be an 8-second touchdown difference after the pick by White. This one's taken a little while. Both sidelines anxiously awaiting the outcome of the replay review.
Well, this is the only thing that's slowing our game down. Because these two teams aren't playing slow, that's for sure.
Should we do a whole bunch of replays right here just to fit them all in for you? Do some telestrating, Todd, while you got a chance.
Or we can get all our promos out of the way right now, too. But this is a big call. There's no question about it.
And we're finally going to get it here.
After review, the pass is incomplete. There is, however, pass interference on the play. So it will be first and goal from the 8-yard line.
As I said, it either be a touchdown or a first down. It's the first down with the penalty on pass interference.
Well, he got the foot down, but when the foot was down, he bobbled it after that and didn't get the foot back down. So there's a little bobble when the foot was off the ground, secured the catch there, but was out of bounds when he landed. So good call. They took their time. Looks like they got it right. But for TCU now, first and goal from the 8.
Two tight ends set here. Boykin has run out of this formation earlier in the game. He's going to give this one off to Catalan. This time nowhere to hide. Blackshear the play.
Can't make that decision if you're Catalan. You got to put your nose down, your shoulders down, and get what you can get. You stop and try to go the other way on the 8-yard line, you end up on the 9-yard line.
First time he's been touched when he's down in the red zone today. Second down and goal. Boykin. The corner of the end zone knocked away by Terrell Burt, who was called for the pass interference, and now he comes up with a really nice play.
Went for the same guy, David Porter in the corner. Pretty well thrown ball, and Burt does a nice job reading the eyes of the receiver and getting his hand out there to knock the football away.
Boy, how big would it be for Baylor, as they thought they'd given up a touchdown, if they can hold to a field goal here for TCU. Third down and goal.
Have to be aware of the quarterback run here on third down.
Boykin, the fade to the corner again. And this one, another flag flies in. We'll have another pass interference. This one on Ryan Reed. I don't think he knows it yet. Now he does.
Boy, they just keep testing you. You know, that's the thing with both of these offenses. When you get up and play tight coverage, they are going to continue to test you with throws down the field.
Pass interference, defense number 9. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed on the 2-yard line. First and goal.
Got his hands on him, pushing, not playing the ball.
Never turned around to look either.
I mean, it's just too much contact and an easy call to make.
First and goal at the 2. Catalan in the backfield with Boykin. Already has a couple on the ground today. This time Boykin keeps it, and he loses a yard. Taylor Young, the first guy to make contact, and then he got help from his friends. can see why Phil Bennett's excited about this redshirt freshman. Not the biggest guy in the world. They list him at 5'10", probably not 225-pounder, but he's a football player. Second down and goal now at the 3. Two tight ends, both receivers to Boykin's right.
Down. They're not going to get the play off.
Wants to throw, and now runs instead, and he is taken out of bounds by Hager.
I don't think TCU got that play off. I thought it should have been a delay of game. And I hate, as an offense, when you let that clock go down, you try to rush the snap. It's a critical down, a critical play. I think you use a timeout there if you're TCU. They got away with it. It was right on the last second, but it was kind of a wasted play. And now it's third down.
Last time they got it to third and goal, they had another pass interference penalty. And now TCU is going to talk things over. TCU by 4 here in the third quarter, and a third down and goal at the 3-yard line upcoming. See what Doug Meacham and Sonny Cumbie have come up with, the two coordinators for TCU.
Doug Meacham was the offensive coordinator at Houston last year. Was at Oklahoma State for several years before that. Former offensive lineman at Oklahoma State. Sonny Cumbie came from Texas Tech, a former quarterback there who was actually recruited to Texas Tech by Art Briles.
Yep.
So, you know, in this conference, everybody is kind of doing the same kind of thing offensively. They all are playing this spread type offense, no huddle, up tempo. And I don't think there's a whole lot of secrets left anymore in the Big 12.
There's no timeout charge.
Let's see what secret the Horned Frogs came up with. Third down and goal.
Play clock.
Did they just say there was no timeout charged to TCU? Little play clock issue possibly.
Boykin, again the fade. This one he overshot everybody and there are no flags.
Yeah. You know, when you throw that fade to the short side of the field, it's just not very much room. And that time Boykin just too much strength on the throw, and it wasn't even catchable. Wasn't even a position for Dotson to make a play on the ball. So a great stop for the Baylor defense.
I said earlier, after that replay, they take away a touchdown. They had first and goal twice, and now they're going to have to settle for a field goal. Not what they were looking for.
And again, the difference in this Baylor team the last year and a half is the way their defense has come alive.
Overcrom, kind of a wicked angle, but the kick is up from 20 yards and good. So a 20-yard field goal has stretched the lead back to 34-27 TCU. Devon Boykin has his team in front here midway in the third quarter. Overcrom to kick. Corey Coleman will field this one about a yard deep. And he's coming at you. Cut down as he got out around the 30-yard line.
Well, you got to really credit Phil Bennett's defense on that last possession. After the turnover, the interception, the apparent touchdown, they hold serve, really, even though they give up the field goal, to keep this as a one-score game, a touchdown difference. That was a huge defensive possession for Baylor.
First down at the 31 for the Bears. About a 2-yard, 3-yard pickup for Shock Linwood. James McFarland in on the stop. Not a lot of big gains on the ground by either team.
No, both defenses really contesting the running game.
Petty, play action, plenty of time, completes it out to the 45 and across midfield goes Goodley. Pickup of 18.
You know, again, you see the strength of Goodley, 220 pounds, And the cornerback, Kevin White, kind of had his hands on him, but he's too big to even alter in the route and able to make the catch.
Baylor back in TCU territory and going to take a shot. Incomplete. Double coverage back there on Goodley. Kevin White was the closest man to the football. There you see the size of Goodley that Todd's talking about. Built more like a running back than a wide receiver.
Which makes him hard to cover, and it also makes him difficult to tackle after the catch.
50% performance with 3 touchdowns by Petty. And here's a good gainer on the ground by Linwood. First down. About the best run that Linwood's had today.
Loved how Art Briles described him. That he had this kid had a sweet spirit, but a tough soul.
Yeah. First down at the 37. And again, Linwood showing a little bit of soul there, spinning all the way down to the 22-yard line. 16 more yards, so back-to-back runs by Linwood. And Baylor's down close to the red zone again.
Nice job by the right tackle, Troy Baker. They run that little power play where they block down and pull the backside tackle.
And this time Linwood takes himself down. Still got about 4 out of it, and he needs a breather.
But see, the beauty of it for Baylor, if you run a few plays with some success, then that sets up their play action that looks just like the run because the line blocks run.
Petty, quick throw. Only about a 2-yard gain by Clay Fuller on the receiving end of that one. And again, Kevin White made the tackle.
Yeah, and that was Goodley's fault. You know, the other receiver that's out there, that's his responsibility to block the first guy. And Kevin White read it quickly and kind of surprised Goodley.
I think this is 2-down territory for Baylor. Trailing by a touchdown. 3rd down at 4. Have to get to the 12-yard line for the first down. And again, his 3rd down passing is about what his overall day has been, 50%. This one's in and out of the hands of Goodley, and it was Paul Dawson, the linebacker. Goodley's looking for a flag and didn't get one. Now we'll see if it's 4-down territory. Looks like it. 4th down and 4.
A lot of times they like to throw quickly to Norwood, who's in the slot at the top, number 42, on these short 4th down plays. They could throw it to him right now.
They're going to keep it on the ground, and they got it. Needed 4, they got almost 6. Chafin with a first down run.
Boy, nice job blocking by the left tackle. Their main guy, Spencer Durango, pulled around, got the key block to secure that first down.
They can get a first down inside the 1. Chafin again, and he's dragging guys down to the 6, close to the 5, in fact.
Art Briles leaning on that big offensive line on this drive right now. Kyle Fuller, the center. Blake Muir, the left guard.
Chafin again. Stood up at the 5, but he again falls forward inside the 4. James McFarland and Marcus Mallett in on the tackle. Big 3rd down, biggest of the day for Baylor and for the TCU defense as well. You can see the yellow line, that's the first down marker, so they can get a first down at about the 2-foot line. 12th play of the drive. And this time Petty keeps it and then lobs it to nobody.
Yep, he had it. He just wasn't able to make an accurate throw. That's one of those deals where it's a zone read, but instead of it being a quarterback keep, it's a quarterback pass if that cornerback comes up. And Bryce Petty knows he let one get away there because the corner came up to stop the quarterback run. He had Goodley standing by himself in the end zone, but he just threw it over his head.
And they want the sure 3 here. Not going to go on another 4th down. They'll bring out Chris Callahan. 2 for 2 today. 22 and 29. This will be a 20-yard attempt. Kind of a line drive, but he got it. And it cuts the lead to 4 with 5:23 to go, third quarter. Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week. A good one, 34-30 TCU.
Oh, look at that last stop. And this is kind of a triple option for Baylor. Here's the first read. To even give it to the back. The second read is the quarterback run. The third read is if the corner comes off the receiver, Bryce Petty can throw it. They took the first two away. They gave him the third, but Bryce Petty just not able to make that completion, or it would have been a touchdown.
Let's check in with Holly.
As soon as the ball sailed out of bounds, you could see Bryce Petty just hang his head. He kind of moved his wrist around like, oh, I overthrew it. He came to the sideline. He's sick. But Art Briles, who's not a man of many words, came over, patted his quarterback on the head, hugged him a little bit, and said, don't worry about it. Move on. Bryce Petty's got to move on and forget that last play.
Kickoff short to the 14. Deontay Gray. And he's not going to make it to the 30 as we check in with Robert Flores. All right, Robert, thanks.
Now, I think if you're TCU, you got to find a way to get Listenby back involved in your offense. He's been your big play guy. He's been a little quiet here of late.
Backfield is empty. The throw is quick, and it's to Slanina, and he finally gets wrestled down at around the 37-yard line.
Second down.
5 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Very big offensive line for TCU. Doing a nice job of protecting Boykin in the passing game today.
Set to pass again. Now he'll run. Didn't get the first down. Got close. About a yard shy.
Yeah, brings up a third and very short. Two-back formation on this third down and short.
Aaron Green in there with Catalan. Run blitz. It's Green in the open field and maybe gone. Aaron Green. And the ball comes out at the 10. Scooped up by Dotson.
Well, you called it. The run blitz took away the second level of defense. And Aaron Green, he just lost it himself. Ryan Reed was in pursuit. And Dotson there to recover. A great call on third and short. Well executed. Vaitai with the big block on Taylor Young. And once again now, TCU first and goal.
At the 2. 58-yard run. Travoris Johnson now in the backfield after that long run by Green. Gets the handle and gets the touchdown. Two-yard touchdown by Johnson. Got a little melee going on after the play.
Nice double team by the center, Joey Hunt, and the left guard, Jamel Nath. Good cutoff block on the backside by Buck Jones, the tight end, number 80. Now they put Johnson in for that short yardage play. He's a 221-pound back.
Number 75, defense. The penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
Andrew Billings.
Yeah, that's twice now we've seen that. A penalty against Baylor's defense that was enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
So the penalty will come on the kickoff. Overchrome in for the point after. Trying to cap off a 70-yard drive in a hurry again in a minute and a half. And it's good. 41-30. Aaron Green hasn't handled it much today, but he had the longest run of the year so far. Given up by Baylor. This 58-yarder got him down close to the 2. And then it was Trevoris Johnson. Takes it in from 2 yards out, and TCU trying to pull the upset on the road up by 11. (41-30) TCU. And now Baylor's going to have to answer on this drive, down 2 scores here. And again, the kickoff's going to come from midfield. Billings with that unsportsmanlike, he can't afford to get another one or he will be sitting out the rest of the game. Overcrum just blasts this one. And no return. They'll bring it out to the 25. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Bryce Petty, about a 500 day, but some long balls involved in there. 3 touchdown passes on the afternoon. Trevon Boykin, this long ball, kind of a gift there with 2 guys in the same spot. E.J. Catalon, big game. 2 touchdowns on the ground and a 94-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. So that's where we stand. A lot of offense and a lot of time left for this group. We said that Robert Griffin, the 3rd game back in 2011, was the highest scoring one in the series. We still got a lot of points, I think, before this one's over. Petty, the quick throw, that one's batted down. Tuaua has had a good game today, had a sack earlier.
Read the quarterback's eyes, timed it. You know you can't get to Bryce Petty. Just read his eyes, read the throwing motion, and time your jump.
Bryce has had kind of a tough 3rd quarter. He's 2 out of 7 this half so far.
That can all change with a couple big plays, though.
Yep. That time he got the pass complete to Cannon, who's run out of bounds, but only about a 3-yard gain, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
I think they need to try to go to some kind of a double move. Maybe not on this 3rd down play, but if they convert here, TCU very aggressive on defense. They jump on those first moves. They might spring a big one off a double move if they go to it.
770 yards now. There's the long ball, and through the hands of Coleman. Maybe getting a hand on it was O'Mealy.
Yeah, really nice play by O'Mealy. He's underneath coverage. Watch him get in the hip pocket, read the ball, and get that hand in there in front of the reception. Really well played.
So that one could have been a big hitter, but nice play defensively will force a punt. 5th 3 and out by Baylor today. They don't have a lot of those usually. Credit TCU's defense. Ross punts, fielded at the 18-yard line. And Eccles Looper with a return of about 10 yards, 54-yard kick. Trevon Boykin, good day for him.
Well, coming into the ball game, he was 2nd in the Big 12, averaging 359 yards of total offense a game. Had the big game last week in the win over Oklahoma. Maybe not the same kind of numbers today, but he has taken advantage of some opportunities, and on the road has played a very strong ball game, and he's taking care of the football, which is critical to win on the road in conference.
Baylor's defense got to get a stop here, because TCU gets any more kind of points, and it's going to be hard to catch up even if you're Baylor. Boykin going to heave it long. Double coverage, caught anyway by Westenby. Todd said they had to get him involved. I don't know if throwing into double coverage is what they had planned, but it's 45 yards.
You give the guy a chance. Even though it's great coverage, it's one of those no, no, no. Oh, my guy made a great play. Okay.
Boykin on first down once more. Goes outside, complete near the 20 to Dotson again.
And those two plays show you what this pass game is made of. It's Listenby on the big throws down the field. It's Dotson on the route running, the possession type throws. And then the speed guy on the inside is Gray, number 20.
Comes a blitz. Boykin gets rid of it in a hurry and incomplete. Deontay Gray was the intended receiver.
Yeah, and I don't know whose mistake this was, but they had single coverage with Gray with no safety help, and they could have had a big one there.
3rd down and 3. Empty backfield for Boykin. Gonna throw that same fade to the corner and incomplete. Played pretty well by Ryan Reed. And it's 4th down.
Well, again, Baylor's defense comes up with a big stop. A little bit underthrown on that ball. Ryan Reed in great position.
Baylor's defense has given up 41 today, and you can see that hasn't happened this year to Phil Bennett's defense.
Well, and they knew that they had not played an offense anywhere near as good as TCU to this point in the season.
Overcrow will try a 37-yard field goal to make it a 2-touchdown game. And he's got it, but not by much. 44-30 now. So a 52-yard drive in just 4 plays, and again, just 49 seconds is all it took. The one big pass play was Boykin to Listenby for 45-yarder, and then they cap it off with a field goal. Baylor's fans hoping that their high-powered offense, #1 scoring offense in the country, can find a way to get to their usual 51 points a game. That might be what it takes to win this. Kick will go to Coleman, about a yard deep. Corey Coleman, he's got a little bit of an avenue. Oh, man, did he get tagged when he got to the 30-yard line, though.
Well, Baylor's offense has had some opportunities for some big plays, and most of the time it's occurred when they've gotten the safeties to react to the run fake. That's opened up single coverage opportunities downfield for Bryce Petty. And they're going to have to gain some ground here in the second half. Here again, you got the 3 receivers set, and watch the deeper coverage react and leave somebody single running down the field, and Bryce Petty making the right decision. I do think that TCU will stay aggressive defensively here as we get closer towards the 4th quarter, and Baylor will have some opportunities for some double moves against the safeties of TCU.
Petty, play action. And the throw short of the first down, but complete to Goodley. Again, they'll line up in a hurry on 2nd down and short. They had led every minute of every game, and they have not led in this game so far.
But in no way an insurmountable lead for Baylor. I mean, they're fine offensively. Get a 1st down conversion on the run there, out near midfield. A lot of options for Bryce Petty here.
1st down at the 41. Again, off play action, completes it again to Goodley, and he got 8 or 9.
See, now Baylor tried to run a double move that time with KD Cannon, but Bryce Petty made the right decision because they covered Cannon, but they left Goodley open.
1st down run by Linwood into TCU territory. Bryce Petty going deep. Man's there. Through his hands. Should have probably had it. Cannon went right through his hands, and it would have been a touchdown.
Well, it's the double move. He shows post, and then he breaks it out straight. And it was a good throw by Petty. Away from the defender. Cannon just not able to bring it in.
Tough catch it would have been after you see it the second time, but still catchable. Second down and 10 at the 48. Coleman trying to stiff arm the defender, and he gets upended at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, great defense that time. First it was Sam Carter, maintained leverage, forced him outside, and they made Coleman run all the way to the sideline to gain 1 yard.
That's where Kevin White dropped him. Third down and 9. 3 out of 14 on third down conversions today is all for the Bears. Petty fires long, man there, caught, touchdown. Fourth touchdown pass of the day for Petty. A beautiful strike to Jay Lee.
Well, credit the protection, too. Outstanding time for Bryce Petty to read that and let that play develop.
$70 yards in 7 plays. And a dandy of a long ball again off the right hand of Bryce Petty.
This play took some time to develop. Watch the protection, the pocket. It was 3 defenders on 2. 2 defenders went with the inside receiver, Lynn Hawthorne. That left Jay Lee open, running by himself, and he ran right by O'Mealy. And a beautiful throw for Bryce Petty. Again, you don't have great numbers in terms of completion percentage, but you do have opportunities to make big throws down the field, and Bryce Petty capitalized again.
Check it. Let's see how they handle the kickoff this time. They had a pooch kick earlier to try to keep it out of Catalan's hands, and they ended up with excellent field position, TCU, I mean, by calling a fair catch. Same thing, but that's Neverland there. It's fielded at the 20.
Yeah, I don't like shortening the field this way for TCU.
31 seconds remaining in the quarter. The way this thing's been going, Trevon Boykin might come out here and throw in about 60 yards on first down. Fly sweep, end around. It's going to be a pass if he can get it away. Eccles Looper going deep and caught inside the 15 by Catalan.
Well, this was a great throw, but the play was made by the quarterback, Trevon Boykin, getting a block on Sean Oakman. Watch the quarterback get a key block to enable the throw to even be made. He blocks Oakman just enough out of the way to allow the throw to be made. And what a beautiful throw it was.
And a gorgeous catch as well at the 9-yard line. First and goal. Boykin wanted to throw the slant, flushed out of the pocket now, and he'll run with it. Got a couple, and then he's taken out of bounds. A.J. Smith with a tackle.
Good decision by Boykin. You know, he gave it as long as he could for the pass part of it to develop. It wasn't there, and so he does the smart thing, gain 4 or 5, and get out of bounds.
We've had 961 yards of offense so far today. Second down and goal. Straight up the middle, and again, untouched this time, Aaron Green for the score.
Well, Bryce Hager has had a good ball game, but he ran himself right out of the play. Watch Hager right here. Just ran right outside the run The motion took one guy out, and Hager took himself out in the course that he took to the backfield. And another easy run touchdown for TCU.
And another short scoring drive in terms of time of possession. 1 minute and 6 seconds. Overcrome to try to make it 51-37. Does. And again, a 2-touchdown difference. Baylor's going to have to fight back again. First, it was the long pass play that got him down. Close. Green took it 6 yards. Horned Frogs 51-37.
You know, coming in, one of the things we talked about at the top of the show, Brad, was we knew TCU with Gary Patterson plays great defense, but this year their offense has given them balance. If there was any question whether their offense and the new look offense was legit, I think they've answered it again today.
This kick coming out for Corey Coleman from about 3 yards deep, trying to get to the edge. And he did, and then taken out of bounds at the 25-yard line. B.J. Catalon today, not a bad day, actually. Got a couple of touchdowns on the ground. Wasn't even touched. Should take his lineman out for pizza or something. This long ball from Eccles Looper on the end around option pass, and then a 94-yard kickoff return for a score as well. You know, he had a touchdown on the ground and one as a receiver last week against Oklahoma, and a 57-yard kickoff return. Today's even better. Bryce Petty knows what he's up against now. Throws far side, caught by Goodley. Goodley almost got away, but tripped up by Kevin White. And now it's not any big secret that Baylor's got to throw and throw and throw some more.
Well, the good thing for them is they're built for it.
Yep.
You know, their line is used to pass protecting.
Play action, and Petty is nailed as he was trying to throw. Let's see, was it a fumble or was his arm going forward?
That's going to be close.
And he's slow getting up, too.
You know, he injured a couple vertebrae in the SMU game, missed the game, said this was the first week that he felt pain-free. Was Mallet on the pressure.
Helmet to helmet with his own guy, too. They keep it on the ground this time. Maybe he'll let Petty make sure he's feeling all right before he throws another one. He gets it out to the 35-yard line, where it's going to be 3rd down and 11. Four sacks today. That's a season high allowed. 3rd and 11, and whistle stop play here. False start.
Wow.
False start. Offense number 4. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Jay Lee, the false start, and he heads to the sideline. So 3rd and 11 was bad enough. It's 3rd and 16 now. 10 penalties again on Baylor this week after 10 in the Texas win last week. Changing up receivers. And Petty in an empty set. 3rd down and 16. He's got to get all the way out to the 46-yard line for a 1st down. Flushed out of the pocket. He ain't going to try to run for it. Got a long way to go. Where'd he go out? About a yard short.
Yeah, looks to be a hair short. Great effort. He tried to reach the football past the marker, but I think he stepped out of bounds before that happened.
You know, they're going for it here on 4th and a yard.
The previous play is under review.
They're going to make sure of the spot here.
Yeah. Which this may play in TCU's favor, actually. See, he's trying to reach the ball past the marker, but I think he stepped out of bounds before the ball crossed the plane. Very close, though, and a tremendous effort by Bryce Petty. Knew what he needed. knew exactly where the mark was.
I think they got it about right. I think it's in a pretty good spot. But they'll look at it upstairs with David Ames. Art Briles ready to go for it on 4th and whatever it's going to be. It's a little different angle for you. Bill, what do you think?
I think we've got a first down. When he jumped from inbounds and crossed.
After review, the previous play is confirmed.
Interesting, because as he jumped and crossed, it looked like he had extended the ball and crossed the sideline at a spot beyond the line of game. But those are the hardest ones for replay because you don't have that view right there.
Exactly.
And the reason I thought the replay and the time delay helps TCU is it allowed them to get their defense set on this 4th and short. If they were going on a hurry-up play, they might not have been in position for this short yardage play on 4th down. As it is, they're ready to go.
We're approaching the 12-minute mark in the 4th quarter. Biggest play of the day for the Bears, 4th and 1. And he got it. Linwood by inches.
Well, I'll tell you, Paul Dawson timed his jump, came flying over the top, and if he would have been about 3 inches to the left, he would have stopped that play short of the first down, but he missed him by about 3 inches.
So first down at the 46. Petty play action. Got hammered as he threw, and it's incomplete.
Both linebackers, Dawson and Mallett, both. They're met at the quarterback.
Well, if Bryce said that he felt the best he's felt all season long, he's not going to feel that way tomorrow morning, I don't think.
See, what the linebackers are doing is they're not blitzing right away. They're allowing the offensive line to get engaged and then coming a little bit late, and they get a free run right at the quarterback from the inside.
Second down at 10. Petty waits and waits and almost waited too long, and he still threw a strike to Cannon.
Now he's incomplete. Bounced.
Okay.
Yep. Again, Petty was under duress. He was throwing that ball backing up, so he didn't have a lot on it. Chucky Hunter, number 96, was the guy applying the pressure. And there you see the ball came out.
So another third down and long. Needs 10 and throws an interception. Marcus Mallett going the other way. TCU touchdown.
Now this is just a beautiful play by Marcus Mallett. Last week it was Paul Dawson doing the same thing. Watch Mallett right in the middle of the screen. Watch him just read the eyes of the quarterback and step right into the throwing lane. Bryce Petty didn't know he was there. He was looking at his receiver only. Mallett read his eyes, slipped in front, and scored a touchdown.
A flag down with the extra point upcoming. Second interception suffered by Bryce Petty today. And despite 4 touchdowns, now his team's going to be down by 3.
And again, the problems on third down. 4 of 17 now for Baylor on third down. This TCU defense contests everything. And when they get a little bit of a lead like they had right now, that was a 3-man rush, a zone defense, and a beautiful zone drop and read by the middle linebacker, Marcus Mallett.
Conversation was going on with Art Briles before we get the call on the penalty.
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, 2 unsportsmanlike conduct fouls, number 1 on the scoring team, number 17 on the scoring team. Both of those fouls, being dead ball fouls, will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
That was a 30-yard penalty. 30 yards worth. Carter and Hackett both with unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Meanwhile, the extra points upcoming, and it's going to be a 3-touchdown deficit that Baylor's got to make up.
And Bryce Petty looks shell-shocked on the sideline. Those shots we just saw.
Yeah.
He looks like what just happened.
Knows what he needs to do now, and time is of the essence. 11:38 to play. 58-37 TCU. They've done just about every way they can today. 5 touchdowns with their offense, 1 with their defense that you just saw, the interception return, and then a 94-yard kickoff return. So the special teams, the defense, offense, everybody scoring. Kickoff comes from the 10. It's going to give Baylor great field position. Once they field this, they'll be at midfield or better. It'll be better. 45, almost a 44-yard line.
We mentioned this TCU defense. Last week in the upset against Oklahoma, Paul Dawson in the 4th quarter, a key interception that was returned for a touchdown. That turned the game. And then just moments ago, the other linebacker, Marcus Mallett, with a 4th quarter interception, returned for a touchdown to possibly put this game out of reach for the Horned Frogs. Offense and defense, TCU, they're for real.
Pretty good day for Mallett. A sack, a forced fumble, and a touchdown on the pick. On the ground is Linwood, picked up 3. He'll be down around the 11-minute mark on the next snap. And it's a good thing Baylor goes fast, because they're going to need every second they can muster here. This is going to be a first down and then some. Linwood taken down in the open field by Hackett, but he picks up 14. Those kind of runs are at least going to keep him honest on the play fake. First down at the 28. And now we are at the 11-minute mark. Straight up the middle again. And same result. No, bigger than that. First and goal.
Baylor's showing a lot of fight here. TCU expecting a throw-only possession. And Baylor coming out running the football.
Chapin now checks into the backfield. First down at the 7. He gets the call. He walks in. Touchdown. Seven-yard touchdown run by Devin Chapin.
Nice job by Desmond Hilliard, the right guard, pulling around to lead on that play. Made it look easy. Again, TCU, I think, anticipating pass only, and they got kind of punched in the mouth on that drive.
Trying to get it back to 2 touchdowns. Callahan's extra points. Up and good. Well, when they needed some shock value, they got it from Shock Linwood. And then Chafin did the rest from 7 yards out. 58-44. 58-44.
And there's a lot of time left.
There is a lot of time left.
A lot of time.
We may never get another kickoff from the normal line, though. 58 points, most scored on the road against an AP top 5 team. Here's a high pooch kick again. And this one takes a bounce. And you can't call a fair catch after it bounces, can you? Deontay Gray, he called a fair catch after it. I don't know. This one's got to come back, doesn't it?
The previous play is under review.
Well, he did try to call a fair catch, but it was after the ball had bounced.
Bill, what do you think about this one?
What do they do with that, Bill?
Well, you're right. The ball already bounced, so he doesn't get entitlement to a fair catch.
Right.
But if he gives that signal, or any signal other than shading his eyes, that ball's should become dead at the spot he possessed it.
Well, not only did he give the signal, he stopped. I mean, he caught the ball and stopped. And then he took off again, thinking, I don't know if I get to do this or not.
But I'm going to try it.
He probably didn't hear a whistle, so he said, hey, let's go.
But again, the unsportsmanlike penalty, the short kick, this has hurt Baylor all night, either by penalty or by choice of kicking away from Catalan after the 94-yard kickoff return. They have given a shorter field to TCU for most of this football game by choice or by the fact of penalty.
And we may not have said it because we had already been to the commercial break. The unsportsmanlike conduct penalty was after the last touchdown, and we didn't get it until we were in a break. So let's see what the call is here.
After review, the receiver of the kickoff, after the ball hit the ground, gave a waving motion. Any waving motion kills the ball. The ball will be brought back to the 34-yard line. It will be 1st and 10.
Well, you heard it first from Bill up here. That's exactly what happened. Interpreted correctly.
Looking great. He's still smiling. He's thinking exactly what you said. Well, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm going to take off and see what happens. So they bring it back. We've had just about everything you can possibly have in a football game today. We've had over 1,000 yards of offense, over 100 points, and as Todd said, 10.5 minutes to go. So that cost him about 31 yards, but we knew that one was coming back.
10:36 on the game clock. 10:36.
If Baylor could come up with a turnover of their own, we'd really be in for a whale of a finish.
Well, I think Baylor, with this much time, they've got to be really sound on defense. They've had some problems today. They've given up a lot of plays. They've given up 58 points. They can't afford to be too overly aggressive trying to force the action right here and give up another big, easy scoring play.
Boykin gonna heave one long. Almost picked off. That would have been the turnover Baylor was looking for. Ryan Reed had a better play on the ball than Porter did.
Ryan Reed's played a pretty good ball game. Even though their defense has given up a lot of points, he's made a lot of plays on the football because TCU has tried to throw it downfield all day. And Ryan Reed has been, for the most part, up for the challenge.
2nd down and 10. Option to Hicks. Hicks with a stiff arm. Nice run. Run out of bounds in front of the Baylor bench. Picked up about 4. Here's a big, big 3rd down for the Bears defense. They're trying to change up personnel. Try to stop a 3rd and 6.
Slanina has been the possession receiver for Boykin here in the 2nd half. He's in the slot at the bottom.
Low snap. Slant is good. Complete to Story.
Boy, what poise by Boykin. Bad snap. Didn't panic. Went down and got the football and was still able to get his feet in position to make an accurate throw for the 1st down.
Pretty good job by Story. Had to readjust his helmet, get his face mask so he could see the ball coming before he caught it. 8 different receivers Trevon Boykin has utilized today so far.
Vaitai has moved back to the left tackle position. Joseph Noteboom is playing right tackle. So Fabulajay out of the ball game. Their starting left tackle here on this possession.
Boykin runs out of trouble and got about 4 yards. KJ Smith was applying the pressure. He got around that. Nice job picking up what he could. Here's Fabulajay, who Tom was just talking about. Actually a 5-yard pickup for Trevon. 2nd down and 5 at the Baylor 49 as we approach 9 minutes.
Boykin's got cramps. You see him pulling on his foot. He's got a cramp in his calf, in his right calf right now.
Pass is batted down. Taylor Young got a hand on it.
Well, they had two guys running into the same area as well. A little miscommunication by the two slot receivers on that second down play.
Can Baylor's defense get TCU off the field? Option. Boykin keeps it and goes down after a pickup of 1. It's 4th down.
Good stop by the Baylor defense. You know, the good news for them also is because Boykin ran out of bounds, because Aaron Green or Hicks ran out of bounds, because there was an incomplete pass, they didn't lose much time until that play. That was the only play where the clock kept running at the end of the play.
Ethan Perry to punt, and that's Levi Norwood on the other end. Fair catch taken inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line. 8:02 remaining. Baylor's got it back, but they're 2 touchdowns back. All right, Robert. Baylor 92 yards away from trying to make it a 1-touchdown game, and there's going to be pass interference and maybe a horse collar on top of it on Kevin White.
Yeah, not a very smart penalty because that ball was probably not going to be caught. It looked like it was going to be an overthrown pass. Kevin White with an obvious penalty. He got beat quickly to the inside, and I think he just panicked after that.
Pass interference defense, number 25. The result of the play, 1st down.
See, he's beat right now and grabbed with the right hand and tried to reach for the ball with the left hand. Right now, if you're TCU, you just want to make the clock run and try to keep the ball in front of you. Don't give up something over your head.
Petty, wide open receiver, nobody around Corey Coleman. Coleman's got a 1st down. Steps out of bounds at the 40.
Smart move by Coleman. Get what you can get out of bounds. Save your timeouts. Save as much clock as you can.
Picked up 18 yards. They moved the sticks with 7:49 to play. And now Petty with a quick throw again to Coleman. Coleman almost got away and still got 9, not quite enough for a 1st down. Well, the Bears know they got to put the pedal to the metal and keep on picking up 1st downs. And here's another one. Linwood, shock to the 30. $22 more yards.
Pulled the backside guard, Jarrell Broxton with a nice block. Sneaker run in there every now and then. They almost popped that one for a touchdown.
Again, ready for play at the 29. It's Chafin, and he's tripped up after a short game by Dawson, the linebacker.
See, the beauty for Baylor is their whole offense on every down, every quarter is a 2-minute offense. It's a hurry-up offense. So they're not playing any differently now with any more sense of urgency at this point in the game than they would when they started the game. So they're built to try to come back in this situation.
Play action on 2nd and 9. Long ball, streak on the sideline. Touchdown. Goodley. That'll be an interference call. It'll be declined. It'll be a touchdown of 28 yards.
Pass interference defense, number 25. That penalty is declined. Result of the play.
Well, they picked on Kevin White this drive. They got the interference earlier. This time, this is a perfect throw by Bryce Petty. Right over the outside shoulder. Goodley goes up and high points to catch. And again, with a 220-pound receiver, that contact by a cornerback does nothing to disrupt his route or his concentration on the football.
A one-score game.
Bryce Petty, they ran it for some success. Go right back to play action. Good protection. Out over the outside to your mature receiver, Goodley. That strong body fights off the contact and goes up and makes a strong-handed catch over Kevin White.
Said they were 92 yards away from making it a one-score game. That's what they've made it. And it only took them 1 minute and 23 seconds to do so. Career-high game for Bryce Petty, who's thrown 2 interceptions, but now 451 and 5 touchdowns. And in the highest scoring game in this series history that dates to 1899, 58-51. Well, we're not done yet.
Nope. Whereas the last possession for TCU, they might have been able to think, let's eat some clock. They didn't do that. Now, they can't think that way. They got to think aggressive and scoring again.
Again, pooch kick. This one, diving catch at the 35-yard line.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Tonight, coming up, 9 o'clock on ESPN. Bo Wallace and third-ranked Ole Miss at College Station to take on Kenny Hill, number 14, Texas A&M.
How does Bo Wallace and Ole Miss handle what's happening to them right now? They won a huge one at home last week. They go on to the road. A very difficult test tonight for them in College Station.
Now the test is TCU's offense. They'd like to chew some clock and get some more points because they know what's on the other side. Our quarterback who showed 5 touchdowns and can do it in a hurry. Boykin flushed out of the pocket. Still on the run and throws it away, incomplete.
Yeah, but that's okay for Baylor because not only do they gain any yards, they stop the clock. And 6 minutes and 30 seconds is an eternity for Bryce Petty and this Baylor offense. So they'll let them stop the clock as much as they want.
Second down and 10 at the 34. 2 backs in there right now, Catalan and Green. They'll give it off to Catalan, sweeping the left side, and he got to the 40. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 4. Fans don't need much urging, but they're getting it from the Baylor sideline. Blitz coming on Boykin. Quick throw, incomplete. Baylor's going to get it back.
Boykin knew pressure was going to come. He actually got it picked up by Catalan. His back did a nice job picking up the blitz. He rushed that throw a little bit, and when it is inaccurate, and they got to punt the football.
Great kick. Norwood's got to backpedal all the way inside the 10 again. Well, they went 92 last time. If they go 92 more, we're going to be tied. Hang around. We'll find out together. Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week. It's been a dandy. Right now, Baylor needs another championship drive of their own to tie this thing up.
The TCU only was able to eat up 58 seconds of clock on that last offensive possession. So Bryce Petty takes over. 5 minutes and 41 seconds left. We talked about strength on strength. Baylor offense, TCU defense.
Petty fires deep down the middle. Got it. Flags down. Cannon with the catch.
Cannon with the catch. Flag in the area where you might expect holding on Baylor. Nope. Maybe an illegal hands to the face on TCU in that same area.
Personal fouls. Defense. Number 96. Hands to the face. 15 yards will be added to the end of the play. First and 10.
Wow, that's a big play. 15 on top of what they picked up. 26 on the pass play.
There it is right there in the middle. Actually, he had his hands on the jersey, but it was pushing up into the face mask.
Bears at the midfield stripe. Down a touchdown. And on the ground, a nice run again by Linwood. Hesitated a little bit. Found the hole he needed and got 10. Petty, quick throw out in the flat to Cannon. Cannon's got about 8 more.
Strength versus strength. Baylor offense, TCU defense. Art Briles, chess match against Gary Patterson. Who has the upper hand here at this point in the game? Baylor right now on the march.
Second down and 2. And it's Linwood again, getting to the second level before he's dragged down by Sam Carter. And another first down and a fired up running back right now.
They keep pulling that backside guard. It's a power run. They throw, then they sneak that little power in. And they've gotten good success running the football here in the fourth quarter.
I said earlier Baylor might run 100 plays. That was number 100. Here's 101. Touchdown! Yards in 5 plays. Just under a minute. And we're tied at 58.
Well, what a beautiful throw by Bryce Petty. Play action. Lofts it up perfectly for Coleman, who had beaten Tejada on the play. Single coverage. Coleman just ran right by him. When we talked to Bryce Petty yesterday, I was so impressed with him. As impressive of a kid as we've talked to in the last several years,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And he talked about he's got to relax and let the game come to him. He started a little slowly today, and then he kind of realized what kind of game it was going to be. I got to be patient. I got to take some shots down the field. I may not have the greatest completion percentage, but I'm going to have opportunities to make big plays, and he has really come to life here, particularly in the second half.
I almost wish I was down there with those guys.
Yeah. Wow, what a ball game.
Baylor 21 unanswered points in the last 5 minutes and 57 seconds.
And was that back-to-back 92-yard drives?
92 and 91.
Jeez.
One took a minute 23, one took 59 seconds. Finally, they kick deep to the 1-yard line to Gray. Gray going to go down before he can get to the 25. Well, I guess he got to the 25, and remember when it was 58-37? It's not anymore.
It's been a long time since TCU has had a big play, an explosive play. A run over 10, a pass over 20.
Boykin threw it high, but Gray snatched it and picked up about 4.
They've had 5 of each in the ball game. Runs of 10 or more, passes of 20 or more. Baylor's had 17 explosive plays. That's why they're right back tied in the football game.
Second down and 6 at the 30. Boykin hands it off Catalan on the sweep, and he got the first down.
Good hard-nosed run. At the end, he tipped that shoulder and got the first down. I mean, if you're TCU right now, the way Baylor has sliced up your defense 2 possessions in a row, you want to take some time on this drive. You want to score, but you don't want to leave Baylor and Bryce Petty with very much time at all. So that means you use the clock, and you also use your running game on this drive if you can.
Time of possession virtually dead even today between these two. No gain on that one for Hicks. Billings, the first guy to meet him, along with Blackshear.
You know, the thing that TCU needs to remember, and Boykin, is that even though it's tied, they've never trailed in this game.
Right.
You know, so the game is not out of hand for them right now. They just got to stick to what they've done when they had success offensively.
As we approach the 3-minute mark again, off the left side goes Aaron Green. And now we got a huge third down upcoming. I think there's a few folks that left when it was a 21-point deficit. They're all going to say they were here right now.
Well, there's a bunch of them still here, that's for sure.
Third down and 8. You'll know in a second whether or not they pick up this first down or not by the crowd's reaction. Blitz. They do get it. Boykin with a perfect strike to Porter.
What a big-time throw by Boykin. He knows he's going to get hit. The pressure comes right up through the inside. The worst place you want it to come if you're a quarterback. He stayed in there, stepped into the throw, and delivered a strike for the first down.
A little confusion, I think, as to who they wanted in there personnel-wise. They come in with a couple of tight ends.
2 critical third down conversions on this drive so far. The run by Catalan and that throw right there by Boykin.
Catalan's in there with Boykin in the backfield on first down at the 48. He'll get the handle. Only got about a yard and got drilled. Oakman and Young on the stop. We're under 2 minutes.
Like I said, 2 third down conversions. The run by Catalan was a second down run. That pass for Boykin was a third down conversion. But those first downs keep the clock going, and that's what you want if you're TCU. You want to score or put yourself in position to score, but limit the time Baylor might have.
You saw Oberchrome warming up on the sidelines. 2nd and 8. Boykin threw his receiver, fell down. Jawan Story slipped out there.
It was a corner blitz. The first time Baylor's shown that, a corner blitz from the short side. And that's one where the quarterback and receiver have to be on the same page to read that. Boykin saw it. I don't think Story did.
Another third down. They got 10 last time when they needed 8.
Last time Baylor blitzed. Let's see if they drop in coverage on this third down or come after him again.
Boykin, empty backfield. Throws a slant again. This one's too high. Incomplete. Fourth down.
Colin Brent's on the coverage. He's had an active football game. He was a walk-on his first 4 years. Was awarded a scholarship to start this season. His father was a highly successful high school coach in Plano, Texas. And he has made a few big plays in this ball game tonight, none bigger than that one. Baylor's got too many guys on the field. They're going to get a penalty here. That should be a penalty because Baylor was running a guy late off the field. They got it called in the back end. Terrell Burt was running off the field late.
It was 4th and 8. So the officials with the conference going on. Gary Patterson has seen his team be up by 21 and now tied at 58.
Substitution infraction. by the receiving team. The penalty will be enforced from the previous spot, 4th down.
So it'll be 4th and 3 now.
Gary Patterson wouldn't try to pull the trigger here on 4th and 3, would he? They need to get to the 42-yard line.
Well, if I'm Baylor, I'm playing safe here. I mean, I'm playing safe punt return. I'm not going after the kicker. They're going for it.
They're not going. They're not going to punt. They're going.
I think Gary Patterson is saying, I don't think my defense can stop Baylor again, and especially if we go to overtime. I don't like our chances of stopping him. We have to try to win the football game here. Now he calls timeout.
Timeout. TCU, it's their first.
So he's
This
got
timeout is 30 seconds.
an extra half minute to think this over.
I don't know if he just wanted to see what kind of defensive look, if he could run a play against a, I don't know. We'll see.
He's still got Boykin right there with him. Boykin talking to his offensive line. What probably is the wildest game of this college football season in week 6. A lot of records are falling.
Well, if you're going to run a play here on 4th and 3, no, they're going to punt the football. They wanted to see what kind of a look. If they got the punt return team from Baylor, they might have run a play. Baylor had their defensive unit out there, and they called timeout and want to kick the football.
You look behind Ethan Perry. Remember, there's been one bad snap today that went over his head.
Oh, no. Are they taking another timeout?
They are.
Timeout. TCU. That's their second.
I'm not
30
sure
seconds.
what the reason for that one is. Bryce Petty just waiting on the sideline right now, waiting for one more chance. Is he going to get it or not? We're about ready to find out. I'm not quite sure why the second timeout was taken, Ledge.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, there was a little confusion. They were waiting to see the look. I don't know if they were thinking about a potential fake there, but Gary Patterson was the guy who ultimately called the second timeout. So a little confusion on the TCU sideline, and I'm sure a little apprehension about giving the ball back to Bryce Petty right now, who has really got the hot hand.
If you're just joining us, you missed an unbelievable game. It's been over 4 hours. We've got a tie game at 58-58. And it seems like about 5 minutes ago of clock time, it was a 21-point lead for TCU.
Right now, Baylor, who's about to get the football back, 753 yards of offense. Nope.
And now they're going again.
Unbelievable. I don't think Gary Patterson believes that his defense can win the game for him. He's going to put the ball in the hands of his quarterback, Trevon Boykin.
And Boykin's all by himself in that backfield. 4th and 3. Boykin gonna loft one deep on the sideline, broken up. Baylor's gonna get it back.
Well, they've gone after Reed again. Reed has played solid all night, and he was right there in perfect position to knock the ball away from Dotson. Yes, there's contact. Yes, there's some pushing and grabbing by both guys, but on 4th down, you don't make that call. Ryan Reed with a big-time play.
So Baylor takes over at its own 45. 1:11 to go. All their timeouts. Their last 2 touchdown drives have gone 1:23 and then 59 seconds. It's an eternity for them right now, and they keep it on the ground. And it's Linwood for 9. And into TCU territory. A minute to play. Linwood again got the first down by a couple.
Clock stops while they move the chains. No, you need to use a timeout at this point.
Callahan has done well today, but has not been asked to kick anything long. In fact, 29 is his longest of the year, and that was today. Petty going long. Had a guy wide open. Cannon and missed him. And missed him badly.
Cannon had the safety, Derek Kindred, turned around on the outbreak. And Bryce Petty, who has been super sharp here in the fourth quarter, just missed that one.
2nd down and 10 with 41 seconds remaining in regulation. Petty's already thrown 6 touchdown passes today. Comes up firing and in and out of the hands of Coleman. And it's 3rd down and 10. But this is 2-down territory. They don't have a long ball kicker. They've got to get to the 33 for a first down. 3rd down and 10.
3rd down and 10. Coleman's out of the game. I would expect Goodley is the guy that Bryce Petty will try to get the ball to if he can, if the coverage allows him to. Goodley will be at the top of the screen, up here.
Petty, play action. Pumps now, goes long. Man there, in and out of the hands of Norwood. And a flag down.
Pass interference. Defense number 2. You get 15-yard penalty. First down.
Got single coverage. You know what? I'm going to tell you what. I don't think that's any worse than the play on 4th down that we saw Ryan Reed not get called for. I don't think you make that call pass interference. I'm sorry. I do not agree with that call.
Gave Baylor the first down they needed at the 28-yard line.
TCU had a 4th down play. There was contact. There was pushing. Ryan Reed made a nice play. No penalty.
Petty, he's thrown 6. Incomplete on that one. Never gave his receiver a chance. Jay Lee, as that one goes out of bounds. Down to 27 seconds. Again, Callahan is warming up. Second down and 10. At the TCU 28-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground. Linwood again. And Linwood got it to the 22. Baylor again has all their timeouts. Now they use one.
Baylor. That's their first. It's 30 seconds in length.
Check in with Holly.
We asked Art Briles, what's the biggest misconception about your football team? And he said everybody thinks because we're a spread that we're a spread, and all we do is score a lot of points. But what I believe our football team is tough. We're strong. We're a team that runs the football. And guys, boy, have they shown that here in the fourth quarter. We'll see if they can finish it here.
3rd down and 4. Right now, if they ask that young man to win it, he would try from 39. The way this game has gone, it might end up on a touchdown in the next play for all we know.
Very easily could. And the reason you might see Art Briles be aggressive here is because they're not going to lose the game on a missed kick or a bad pass. It's tied. They're looking at it right now. Worst case scenario, we go to overtime at home and our quarterback is hot.
Only thing you don't want to do is take a sack or throw an interception. 3rd down and 4 for Bryce Petty. And they keep it on the ground. And it's a first down run by Linwood again. And he's still going. 19 seconds and a timeout.
Timeout. Baylor. That's their second timeout. It's 30 seconds in length.
Well, that's just power. They've done a nice job of keeping Linwood rested. He had the big game last week against Texas, running the ball a lot. They've kept him fresh today. They've used some other guys, and now when they need him the most, he has fresh, strong legs, and he is fighting for every yard he can get.
Now Baylor is down to 1 timeout. 19 seconds remaining. They've got a first down at the 13-yard line of TCU. You've got one timeout to get your field goal unit out there, unless they take a shot here and try to score another touchdown.
I think you might give Bryce Petty one shot here, and you tell him, you know, if it's not there, throw the thing away.
Linwood straight up the middle. They'll get it to the 11, and they'll call the timeout.
And let that clock run down. Probably call it with 3 or 4 seconds left. 4 seconds.
Timeout. Baylor. That's their third and last timeout.
Chris
It's
Callahan
30
is a redshirt freshman from Houston, Texas. He came into the game having only made 1 field goal in 6 attempts. He's been perfect today. His longest was 29. This one's going to be from about 28.
I would imagine Gary Patterson will wait until he's right about ready to line up for this one and use his last timeout. You see him down there by the official on about the 18-yard line.
They spot it at the 18. And now the timeout.
Timeout. TCU.
Callahan just trying to stay away from everybody. Bryce Petty cannot even watch. 6 touchdown day for him. Will it be enough? It was on his right arm that got him back in the game. And now it's going to be on the right leg of one of the smallest guys on the team. But if he hits this, he'll be the biggest man on campus. Chris Callahan from 28 for the most improbable of comebacks and the win. He got it. Unbelievable. Unanswered points in the last 10.5 minutes. And Baylor has come from behind, shocked TCU and the entire country. Let the party on the Brazos begin. What a scene. Snap good, placement good, kick is perfect. And all 5'9", 185 pounds of him is the hero at the end. They've played this one now 110 times. You're never going to see another one like this one today. What a scene. 61-58. That's going to do it for us. For Ty Blackledge and Holly Rowe, Brad Nessler saying so long. That's all from Waco. Chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continues at the Bank of America 500 in Charlotte after this word from your ABC stations.